No ID is meant for a sane audience. No ID may contain liberty-oriented content. Pinko discretion is advised. Now, here's No ID with Paul Banducci and Scott Moskowitz.
Hey, the man's right. Welcome back to No ID, Idaho's mainstream media and narrative deconstruction. I'm Scott.
Hello, Internet. I'm Paul. What a beautiful day. We have a special guest with us today. Scott, break it down.
Whoa, and I didn't even initiate this one, unlike it actually hasn't been a guest on this program. This is episode 43 of No ID today. Not since episode 2 has there been a guest on this program where we announced that, oh, hey, we're starting this podcast here, and it's gonna be Paul and me, and we're gonna deconstruct the mainstream media, and then right out of the gate, guest, but no guest since.
Yeah, well,
so today,
Scott told me what the business model was, and I said, that sounds great. What if we don't do that?
Now today, Tyler Cain is joining us. Tyler Cain is the man and quickly becoming a myth and legend behind DeFlock Idaho. But before we hit the record button here, we were sort of, having the conversation among ourselves about how, well, what about Motorola and what about this? Why is everyone... So should it actually be DeFuck Idaho?
That's funny. So my name is Tyler Cain. Thanks for having me, guys. It really should be No ALPR Idaho. I just haven't wanted to change the name yet because Flock is like the name brand. I know we were talking about, Mountain Dew versus Dr. Thunder. So,
well, as we all know, man, substance doesn't matter. It's straight up marketing. You got to just, so marketing is what matters. There you go.
Anti-ALPR. Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it.
Just doesn't ring.
Right. I mean, they called it Flock for a reason, right? So we're calling it DeFlock for a reason.
I mean, what reason did they? I mean, so what? We're all a flock of sheep. Is that it? Like, what is even, or is it an acronym? I guess I'm sort of ignorant on it.
I don't know. I feel like they really screwed themselves when they chose the name Flock.
Flock?
Like, people aren't going to be upset being called, these flock cameras, these flock of sheep cameras are watching
right.
everyone.
And basically, we talk about it a lot on this program where there's a lot of the naming schemes and even down to some of the actual names of people, like the drag performer that was suing Summer Bushnell as Eric Posey. Like the poser is posing as a what? Like, there's a lot of this that goes on where it's like, it feels quite deliberate, like the reptiles running the simulation are just messing with us.
Oh, dude, Representative Handy, Governor Little. I mean, we can't write this as well as they do.
Tyler, this is Representative Handy.
I've seen people in every way, shape, or form all over the world going to the bathroom.
That guy's last name is Handy.
Handy.
And there's a bazillion examples of this sort of thing. So I don't know, Flock, they really screwed themselves. They couldn't have picked a more ridiculous name.
No, I mean, another one that's funny is, so Axon was called Taser, but then they put a taser on it. They put a taser on a drone and everyone got pissed. So they fired a bunch of business executives and then they changed their name because everyone was so mad about their taser drone.
That's fantastic.
They didn't change what they do.
I think. Would an idiot do that?
They didn't change it. Yeah, they just changed the name, not what they're actually doing.
No, they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, I told you, marketing. Marketing is what matters. It's like with taxation. They go, what should we call it? Should we call it theft? No. Sounds too rude. Let's call it taxation. Oh, yes. Oh, very good. Very good.
Okay, now before we get into some Flock, we got lots of Flock clips, as you might imagine. When we were speaking also before the show here about Mayor Randy Westlund, and Tyler, you just had like a recent conversation with Post Falls Mayor Randy Westlund. I think you've been speaking with a lot of sort of political figures, bureaucrats, politicians across the state in recent months. And so I want to play this based on what you just said, Paul, with regard to tax and Randy Westlund, because you said, Tyler, like, you tell us what your sort of impression of Mayor Westlund was.
He seemed like a decent guy. I mean, he took the time to talk to me. I think there's some misinformation, and it's exactly what we were just saying with, Mountain Dew versus Dr. Thunder, where people are against Flock, and Randy Westlund came out saying, hey, I'm against Flock. I stand for people's rights. We don't use Flock. We use Motorola. And and so it was definitely, and people fell for it. They're like, oh, great. Yeah, celebrate Randy. But Motorola operates the same. And and the things that Motorola does, as far as with the way they use data, allowing, they give it to other companies to use. Anyways, and even Motorola can use just standard cameras. They can integrate them so that any camera can become an ALPR camera. And so I found it funny, and I talked to him, and I think maybe he had some, clarity in that, but I don't know if he's moving forward with anything to get rid of them. I know they're going to put some sort of like transparency portal or something together, and then invite the community to discuss it. So I
So
guess
when you
it's
say
as much as you can ask for.
transparency portal, that just for clarity's sake here, is that something, and then you say the public, is that something, is a transparency portal something that you and I and Scott, John Q. Public, that we can log on to and quote unquote, like, see what the elite pedo lizard people are up to as they're watching us? Like, is this us getting the chance to watch them watch us? Is that what that is?
No, usually a lot of times these portals, and I don't know the scale of what they're doing. With Flock, you used to be able to see like searches that were being done, and the amount of searches. With some of them you still can, but a lot of them have moved away from that. So if you go into like the website haveibeenflocked.com, that way, that's a real website. It aggregates a lot of that data from those transparency portals and stuff that people get from like public records, and it's just like the searches that are being done. But I think he was going to put together like the contract, maybe how it's being used, any policies, something simple. But he seems open to doing, if the community doesn't want him, he seemed open to, trying to get rid of them. The thing is at the end of the day, the mayor really has no say. It comes down to the city council, or even, the police department themselves.
Yep. Or whatever contracts they're working under that are what's the word I want? That predicate them. I mean, mayor's more of a figurehead.
Well, but sometimes, like here in Wilder, the cameras were put in with just between the police chief and the mayor. The police chief said, "Oh, I have some extra money. I'm going to go buy cameras that come below, the procurement requirement." There was just in Kentucky. There's one of the sheriffs there. I can't remember which county it was. I was just watching the meeting yesterday, but essentially the sheriff just kept coming under the procurement requirement, which is like 20,000. But he did it so many times that by the time they were done, they're spending 200,000 on Flock cameras.
It's kind of like structuring with your money. What they call structuring is if you make deposits that are $10,001, the IRS goes ping and they watch you. But if you do, 9,987, well, so for some reason, it's not as big of a deal.
Why didn't you pick this one? All this, I was looking forward to it, and then all of a sudden you veered off into like 9-7.
I don't have the sound drop. You have the sound drop. You did good, Scott. I'm proud of you.
I want to play this. This is from Creme Channel 2.
You'll soon be paying more for your property tax in Post Falls. The city council approved a 4% property tax increase as well as a one-time 3% increase. That means for a $650,000 home, for example, you'll pay about $25 more for the first year of the increase. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press report that inflation and population growth is most likely to blame for the tax hike. Post Falls Mayor Randy Westlund says the city is also planning to make some cuts. You can see the city's plan on their website.
Listen one more time to that.
Press report that inflation and population growth is most likely to blame for the tax hike.
Inflation and population growth. So just like COVID forced the Racketeer to close while allowing Home Depot to continue operating, Prohibition caused organized crime, inflation caused rent control, violent video games caused Columbine, 9/11 caused the Patriot Act, terrorism caused great-grandmothers to have to take off their shoes at airport security, the city's budget caused tax increases, AI caused all those employees to be fired, and crime is causing the installation of ALPRs.
And spoons made Oprah fat.
I think these ALPRs are what's driving these tax increases, because these never existed really in the state but before 2023. So like Nampa, for instance, since they first started putting them in 22, I guess. So in 22, but from 22 to now, they've spent $6 million. So in 4 years, they spent $6 million. And so now the police are saying, we need money, and they're trying to put a $5 million levy. And it's like, well, you spent $6 million to stalk people. So,
I mean, the "we need money" refrain is not new at all, right? But every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, well, what did you guys spend your schmeckles on last year? Oh, watching you, surveillance. Now we need more
money.
Well, think about every time you get like a new subscription, right? There's so many streaming services. You can only get so many, right? And so as they continue with mass surveillance, they're just extending their budget. I'd much rather see, us pay officers a decent amount of money, not, stalk everyone. Or
we
pay
need
for
this
a system
money.
so
I
they
vote
can
for
stalk.
neither.
We vote for neither.
Neither.
We keep our money. Is that
neither.
that's nuts?
How about I keep my money, and if
No.
I want security, I'll pay for security, and then then I don't have road pirates harassing me on the road because I violate some arbitrary bullshit law I didn't vote for or agree to, like 5 miles over the speed limit. Yeah, good stuff like that.
Paul is a wild-eyed
Unsubscribe.
anarchist, Tyler, just so you know.
Oh, I'm a crazy person. I believe in peacefully existing, free trade. Don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff. It's pretty nutso over here.
Yeah, I think you should try and follow Melissa Wintrow's advice, Paul, rather than thinking like that.
If we all just pay our fair share, right?
This is from NPR.
First up this morning, Idaho began its new fiscal year in July, and tax collections last month came in higher than predicted, but a little less compared to a year ago. Here's James Dawson to break down the numbers.
Idahoans and visitors shelled out far more than anticipated at the checkout line last month. The state raked in about 15% more in sales tax than in July 2025, accounting for nearly half of the state's revenue. Personal income tax collections are up slightly compared to the state's official forecast by about $15 million.
They got more of our labor than we anticipated.
They're up slightly compared to the state's official forecast by about $15 million. That's nearly 25% lower than last July's collections, though. Miscellaneous revenue.
But fear not, citizen. It's less. We took more from you, but fear not. It's less.
Do you remember the good times last July?
Miscellaneous revenue chipped in an extra $15 million over expectations. Overall, the state took in $361.8 million last month, which is slightly higher than economists predicted. Governor Little is telling state agencies to make do with flat budgets for a second year in a row to accommodate significant tax cuts.
We took in more, and you have to make do with what you got.
Use what you already have.
To accommodate significant tax cuts made over the last several years and a post-COVID economy. James Dawson.
Post-COVID economy. Okay. So again, COVID caused the economy, all of the agency being laundered out of the language by the media as a media deconstruction program. We always like to point out how agency and decision-making and actual policy, all of these inanimate objects create policy, according to how the media frames these stories on behalf of
the state. Yeah, man, if we were out there hunting, like we could kill all of these things just by saying, Nick, inflation, it was coming right at us. I had to put it down.
Let's do some Flock stuff. This is now a non-Idaho affiliate of Fox. This is Fox 31 Denver.
A Denver woman says that she was wrongfully accused of theft after police tracked her car using flock cameras.
Now, the camera system has been a point of controversy over privacy concerns, but it's been a praised tool by police who've used it successfully to track down suspects and make arrests.
But after the system was used to accuse her of a crime, one woman is warning everyone to have cameras of their own. Fox 31's Anna Kuhn sat down with her and has her story tonight. Anna?
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley police chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been accused in the first place. She says her car was never at the address where that package was stolen.
You know, we have cameras in that.
Now, Paul, you sent me this few weeks ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I wanted to wait for Tyler to be on with us. And
we waited for Tyler on this one.
You sent me the Reason TV had the actual body cam footage of this incident that's being covered here on Fox 31 Denver. So this is the the news affiliate playing little snippets of that exchange, which you said. I have the whole thing, but we might not need to play it. But listen to some of the things. They're a libertarian think tank / news agency, basically. So everything comes from a liberty-minded angle, and they're on point though. They get their facts right. They get their shit straight, just like libertarian think tanks tend to do. And I think everything you need to know about how law enforcement operates, how the government in general behaves, and how surveillance is bad, okay? All in one sound clip here. All in one, basically, issue that a citizen has already experienced. Everything you need to know. Right.
You know we have cameras in that town, and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
On September 27th, the Columbine Valley police officer came to Chrisanna Elser's door and issued her a summons to appear in court, accusing her of stealing a $25 package in the town of Bomar. The officer said he had doorbell video of the theft and had tracked her car in the area using flock cameras.
It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%.
The only problem with this case, she wasn't there, and she had the evidence to prove it. Dash camera video from...
Boy, good thing this innocent woman had to prove her innocence, right? Because she was guilty until she proved her innocence.
100% lock.
You sure about that?
Dash camera video from her car, a log of her location from Google Maps, and doorbell video of her walking into her tailor's house when the package was stolen.
He just kept telling me that any evidence I had wasn't worth it.
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
After a few weeks, Elser was able to get in touch with the police chief, who wrote her in an email, quote, "After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued." Elser says she shouldn't have needed to prove her innocence and worries flock cameras can paint a picture police will rely too heavily on.
They need to be used properly. And
not at all.
Caution in a conversation versus we're now going to use this to accuse anybody and everybody.
We did reach out to
Okay, hold on real quick. This lady just experienced this and is drinking. I guarantee you she's a leftist. She has to be a leftist. Or I guess maybe a neocon, because they drink the blue Kool-Aid, the deep blue Kool-Aid. So she could be either a neocon or a hardcore leftist. They're both kind of the same. They love authority and boot leather. They just argue over the flavor of the boot leather. But the fact that this lady goes through this and comes out on the other side and says, you see, the only issue here is that it just wasn't used properly on me. And that's that's the beef I've got. So
we've been bringing
my God, how could you come out of this experience and not be like, and we need to hacksaw all of these motherfucking machines down right now?
So I've been bringing up the argument that, so when you look at flock safety, right? So at first you think it's a safety tool. And then once you boil it down even further, then you're like, okay, well, it is a surveillance tool. But it's really not even a surveillance tool. It's a pre-crime tool, because it's investigating everyone, absent everyone, every person that travels. It is investigating without any probable cause or a warrant. And so it is a pre-crime tool. It's not even a surveillance tool. And so it can't be used correctly. We can't, and we can't even put, guardrails. Guardrails are a mute point. You can't put guardrails when tyranny is a software patch away.
Well, you got a lot to unpack there, Tyler, too, because you've got like what we talk about with public education is something that comes up a lot. I'll use that as another example. When you say, well, it can't be used correctly. Yada, yada, yada. I would make the same argument for damn near anything the government does. But education's a great one where people go, it's broken. And I say, no, it's not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. That's this mass surveillance network they're setting up with Flock, Motorola, Axon, you name it, whatever, name brand or bottom shelf brand. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do, and it has nothing to do with safety, like you're saying.
It's too bad that Tyranny is a software patch away. It's slightly long for a show title, but it's strong. I like it. I want to get your thoughts, Tyler, on this. This take is from the No Agenda show, The Mothership. Sir Ducifer guest hosting with Adam. Ducifer had a really interesting take on, because you mentioned hacksawing these things down and why this poor lady, this sufferer of Stockholm syndrome, who has this happen to her and thinks that the kidnappers just weren't quite giving her the right mutton and meat. I don't know.
Yeah, if only we had used this violence with just the right people, using just the right amount of violence in just the right way, then we'd be all right.
Yeah, if the Tyranny had just a slightly different software patch. Anyway, this is Ducifer's take on the whole, the hacksawing of the flock cameras or the backing of Trump. We've done it on this program, and it seems to sort of be like a meme or whatever that people are destroying or taking down flock cameras themselves, vigilante justice. Ducifer's take was that in itself is an op.
Well, and if they want to track you, they're already tracking you through the phone you carry around.
And they're posting their fears on Instagram and TikTok, which is the literal Skynet.
No, they're posting their crimes. They're like, well, let's cut down these flock cameras, which I think is, I was going to say this after I played some of these clips, but that's the psyop of, hey, go cut down your local flock camera. Nothing will happen. I'm like, there's somebody running this thing to create a flock protection system. Because then it's going to become really bad. Like right now it's just vandalism. Well, now it's going to be, now you're messing with infrastructure, and it's going to be some weird thing where they turn it around and go, now we're going to get you, and it's 20 years in prison for touching a flock camera. That's what I think.
That's an interesting take.
Well, that's where it leads. It always leads to that. We got to create something protected. So this is the surveillance system that we're creating, or who's creating, we don't know. But there's other companies out there other than Flock that are doing the same thing.
How about Amazon?
But we don't hear about it.
How about Amazon with the Ring doorbells, which everyone gladly put on their home?
Right. And now they're clairvoyant. They can see in boxes.
So what do you think about that the whole, destroy your local flock camera, that in itself is being run for the purpose that Ducifer just stated?
Sorry, are you to say like what, to try to promote other brands?
Oh, well, I mean, that's funny. That I don't know. Actually, he's saying that that's funny. Maybe that's an op being run by Motorola. So that that's really funny. No, I think Ducifer is saying that it's being run by who I don't know, whatever set of reptiles, such that it's going to allow for there's going to be special legislation. There's going to be this and this passed, so that like now these are specialty crimes that carry massive fines, and it'll make it impossible to touch this infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think people are generally just upset, right? And I'm not advocating for just going out. I think we're not quite to the point of, just ripping down cameras or, destroying infrastructure. And I think it does kind of harm our cause to a point where, where you're saying, there might be legislation. There was actually a story out of, it was in Claremont County. What is this? Union Township. I'm trying to think which state this was. But the guy, a grand jury failed to indict him for cutting down cameras. Almost like a jury nullification. But it's already a felony to cut them down here in Idaho. The Flock intentionally sets the value at $1,500 to replace them, and at the $1,500,
so that it's a felony.
So that's a felony. So there's already strict laws against it. They may try to push something else. I hope they just get rid of them. Right, that would be the solution. Would be to legislate to get rid of them, to ban them, to stand for the Constitution and the Fourth Amendment, not to,
Not funny, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, we have some interest. There seems to be some interest to do something, and I'm hoping that they do the right thing and realize that you can't fix this. There's no safe way to implement this.
I have a comment and then a question. First, I think, unfortunately, I disagree. I don't think there's any hope on this. I really don't. Now, I'm a pessimist by trade, and I usually win because of that. But I think what they'll do is go the opposite direction, and it's only a matter of time before, even at the federal level, they will classify it as an act of terror. You will be labeled a domestic terrorist if you touch any of these surveillance systems, anything.
That's
because
if
there's one thing we know about
the
Yeah, and it's so. I mean, that's not an op. That's not a psyop. That's just. Do you notice things? Have you paid attention to the last, 10,000 years of how the government works? But especially the last 100 years, now the technology has made it possible for them to insert themselves into every single minute of every day of our lives. That's one of the big differences between, modern history or modern life and the last 10,000 years of history. Is now the government really has the tools to do this to us. So I think it's only a matter of time before, you're a domestic terrorist, just like they've done with everything else.
It's interesting because the every time, and I think a lot of people don't realize ordinance, any law or even just penalties, but everything the government does bears the full weight of the government, and that's the exact position that one lady we were talking about stealing a box, right? She didn't even steal an Amazon box, but the government goes in with their full weight of their flock cameras and says, you did this
100%.
And so I mean, hopefully they don't come out with, not hopefully that they don't come out with a law saying it's terrorism to do this, but I think it's terrorism to put the cameras up to start with. I think it's terrorism on the people,
Sure, be with tyranny, but again, we're beating what's basically a dead horse. We're like what we're 1% of the population that actually cares. There's 50% that pay it lip service. There's maybe 20% that do slightly more than lip service, and then there's 1% of us that are like, yeah, no, we'd actually maybe do something about it.
There's only 3%
I don't want to be on the list, so
it only took 3% for the American Revolution.
Sure, but hey, you're not wrong, and I think a movement can, things can be more effective than people think, but it can feel pretty lonely. So then my question is, which I actually just forgot because we ran down a couple other trails. Damn it! It was a damn good question.
That's okay. You can think about it.
Thing. We were talking about.
Well, you ponder it if you'd like. In the meantime,
it was something to do with Idaho and the flock stuff, and it was actually going to bring it back home here, but
he was going to land the plane, and now we just have to do a holding pattern.
Yeah, he had me circle around the runway a couple times, and then I ran out of fuel and I crashed and burned. Thanks.
The ground proximity warning system is going off. What should we do? Maintain the holding pattern. That Claremont County, by the way, is in Ohio. You were thinking of, I think, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Cincinnati
Ohio,
area. Yeah. So let's play while Paul is considering, trying to remember what his amazing question was.
Oh, I remember one of the things was kind of back to the terrorism thing. When Tyler mentioned the full weight and force of the state, one of the other things I wanted to mention is that if you want to really feel the full weight and force of the state, you just make an attack on them or a perceived attack. So like the fellow who smashed a couple of windows at the Kootenai County building, they ring him up for domestic terrorism.
That's Ryan McClintock. I don't know if you saw any of this, Tyler, when it was out back in, I think, about April.
I guess I'll go arrest Bob Norris my fucking self!
Did you see any of that story? And the guy took a baseball bat to the windows?
I've seen some of it because I've done some videos with Dan Wilson, so I've heard some of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not super educated on the topic, but I know that it happened.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be for what we're discussing. Basically, the concept is that a citizen, whether they're in their right mind or not, makes an attack on the government, any branch of government, perceived or real attack. It doesn't matter. The state will always. That's when you really feel the full force of them. So with this issue with the cameras, with the security system, that's why I'm saying, it's a matter of time before we go from being felons to domestic terrorists, and either way, they're not happy when we touch their toys.
I'm sure we're probably all
they make us pay
lists.
for. Oh, of course we are. You are for your work with DeFlock. We are for all the memes we post. I mean,
we're enemies of.
Each of us has a Fed boy. I guarantee it.
Oh, of course.
Well, what I just saw was there was this case. I can't remember her name, but it was in New York. She was threatening to destroy the New York the state house, but the FBI started talking to her in chats and then coaxed her into wanting to do this. There's pictures of them pictures of her at Home Depot that they took standing over her at the checkout stand because they drove her to Home Depot to buy ingredients for an inert bomb.
This is Tyler. You're talking about Jessica Bowie from Albany, and she was arrested with the ISIS-inspired plot against the New York State Capitol in Albany. Is that who you're talking about?
Exactly that. But what's funny is it was all the FBI. The FBI held her hand through the whole thing. I mean,
there's a name
for
the
this. Definition of an entrapment.
Yep, there's a name for it. The phenomenon is called the 6-week cycle. And it happens all the time. And we've covered it on this program, and not in a while. they'll find some 18-year-old kid with a bad mustache, and they'll have operatives talking to him for a year, and the operatives will walk him through buying explosives, and then at the last second they'll tackle him and zip tie him and show how they thwarted it. That's called the 6-week cycle.
We got him, America.
It's well documented. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
They arrest that lady, and then what was funny is the FBI goes up there, and they're like, there's this clip, and it's the whoever is in charge of that FBI office, and he's up there, he's like, yeah, and those cameras, what are the name of them again? Flock, those cameras really helped us in this investigation. But it's like they told the person to meet him, and when they met him, they like, she got out of the car and they tackled her. You know what I mean? So
we got her.
Dude, we got her with the flock cameras. Like, no, you didn't.
But like that in a nutshell,
you just set this lady up. You just set this lady up.
Behold, your government. This is how it behaves. It makes me think of the plot to kidnap the Michigan governor back in 2020, Whitmer.
Gretchen Hitler, yeah.
Gretchen Hitler, where, that was a big thing back in, I think it was October of 2020. But it turns out it was all the fucking FBI putting it together. A couple of people who were pretty pissed off about living under a tyrant started to mumble about it, and the FBI gets involved and goes, hey, you know what we should do? Let's go kidnap the governor. And they're like, well, we hadn't thought of that, but
let's do it.
Okay. And then they all get their asses thrown in jail. Yeah.
This is from
are you gonna
I got it right here. Tyler, you can hear it. This is from episode 3 of this program, titled Flame Sword. From April 2024.
Story tonight, the shocking arrest of an 18-year-old in Coeur d'Alene for allegedly planning terrorist attacks in the name of ISIS. Alexander Mercurio pleaded not guilty to providing material support to ISIS in a federal courtroom today. He is now set to go to trial at the end of May.
Alexander Mercurio was arrested over the weekend for allegedly planning to attack people at Coeur d'Alene churches on behalf of the terrorist group ISIS. Messages uncovered by the FBI show Mercurio allegedly planned to use weapons, including firearms, knives, and a flame sword to kill as many people as possible. An indictment filed in this case says Mercurio is charged with attempting to provide material support to a designated foreign terrorist organization. He pleaded not guilty to this and denied the criminal forfeiture allegation, which means he does not want the court to seize his property if convicted.
He wants his flame sword.
Who does?
Coeur d'Alene Mayor Jim Hammond says the 18-year-old's alleged plans are not tolerated in the community.
I think that
not tolerated
living in North Idaho
would
be crazy to think that they could get any sympathy from anybody else regarding ISIS or any support for any kind of similar organization.
All right, we got it, Scott.
Could cause any.
Yeah.
But the other one I was going to refer to was a few years further back was when they arrested a bunch of quote unquote Proud Boys who were going to disrupt a Pride event, which is actually kind of ironic when you think about it. The Proud Boys disrupting a Pride event in Coeur d'Alene. And they arrested a box truck full of them. And it turns out a bunch of them were not real people either. If anybody thinks that we're safe up here in North Idaho, no. Coeur d'Alene the Kootenai County is a spot, man, where the feds hang out. The feds absolutely hang out here in North Idaho. We're a hot spot on the map. Guarantee it. But Tyler knows about that too.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you guys for a second. I had to refresh. Yeah, it's real interesting, right? Like, I don't understand. Is ISIS real, or is ISIS just the FBI? You know,
that's a fair and interesting question.
CIA.
Yeah.
ISIS is the CIA.
I don't know.
It is pretty wild. All right, let's do a couple more on the flock thing. This before I want to sort of we'll land the plane with what's going on in your
because I got
hometown.
questions for Tyler.
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, we can play more clips anytime. If you got them, go.
Well, I'm rolling the tape back actually a little bit where I kind of wanted to start this episode, which was Tyler, you're doing the DeFlock thing. You're the main man behind it. How did that come about? Because I don't actually
How did
know.
this become your life? Yeah.
How does Tyler Cain start doing DeFlock Idaho? How and why?
So DeFlock Idaho wasn't a thing, and so it started in April. So it's a pretty relatively new page. I was never super politically involved. Kind of going back to the beginning is our city here in Wilder decided to try to do this firearms ordinance. It actually kind of goes back before that. I went and I paid my water bill a day late, and they tacked a $20 late fee on it. But instead of just charging it to like the next bill, they called me and said, "Oh, you paid your water bill, but we're going to come shut your water off over a $20 late fee." And I was like, "You're threatening me." Anyways, it was like, I'm like, "Why are you calling me doing this rude, threatening phone call? Like, just charge me it next time." But anyways, after that, I started paying kind of close attention to what they were doing in the city. And then they started to try to pass this no discharge of firearms ordinance. I don't know what theirs originally was, but in 2017, when the constitutional carry took effect in Idaho, their ordinance became illegal. And so they, instead of fixing it, they just removed it completely. And so the city for almost 10 years didn't have no discharge of firearms ordinance within the city. It's already addressed, at a state level, at a county level, but the city decided they needed to be involved in this, even though they
as meddlers do.
Yeah, they need a meddle in it, even though they've, everyone's been fined and safe for 9 years. And so they go to make this ordinance, and it was so restrictive that it would have banned a Nerf gun. Like, it literally would have sorry, actually, I went down to the city hall and I started talking, and I'm like, it would ban a Nerf gun. And she's like, no, it would ban the discharge of a Nerf gun. And I'm like, you're seriously like, you're okay with this? Like, we're going to make children criminals now,
Hey, wait, you've just banned cars. No, that's okay. We've just banned the driving of cars. Well, how do I get it out of my driveway? Oh, that's on you, boo. You figure it out.
Restrictive.
It's so I'm like, what the heck? And so
what the heck?
I went into community pages, and I'm like, hey, like, why are we trying to pass this ordinance? Like, we need to do something. And they tabled that for a while. But anyways, around that time, so around the beginning of the year, there was a story from Idaho News 6 about flock cameras in Caldwell. And I was like, wow, those are interesting. And I did just, blanket, just a little bit of research, more of like a humph, and didn't think about it again. And then I started noticing them in Caldwell, but one day all of a sudden I noticed one in Wilder. And if you've seen like flock cameras and stuff, like once you see one, you can't unsee it. It's like the Matrix in that way. And so,
and once they see you, they can't unsee you.
Oh, don't worry. No, they're only seeing your license plate. They just need to get a better picture of your face.
Right. And then they keep the data safe, and they use it only for non-nefarious purposes.
Right.
For 7 days.
Flock sells the data to private companies, so they'll sell it to whoever buys it from them. So private companies can tell where the origination is. So they have a whole page dedicated to traffic. It's like traffic analytics or something. And so they'll sell it's non what is it, like, where they strip it of data. They're of identifiable information. They strip it of. So they say, but they can tell, like, oh, I had customers driving from Wilder to Caldwell to come buy my whatever you want to go buy. So it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Flock selling our data?
Inconceivable.
They're like quadruple dipping, those bastards. They get paid on the contracts, they get paid on the hardware, they get paid on the maintenance, they get paid on the software, they get paid to provide the data that they want, that the government wants, and they get to sell data to private companies as well. Shit, that's like sextuple dipping.
So, yeah, sort of. Gene, do you want to hear a quick clip where we hear from a little bit from the founder of this apparatus before Tyler continues?
Well, in a sec, I have another question. Is your Tyler? Is your town, because it's reminiscent of some of the smaller towns up here that you would think would be like bastions of die-hard, leave us the fuck alone attitude, because they're more rural Idaho and they're smaller towns.
Yeah, Wilder, Idaho.
But instead they just turn out to be run by leftist boomers. Is that Wilder? Is that why you guys are dealing with this?
I don't even know that. I think so. 65 people voted in the last city election.
Wow.
65?
65. That's it.
Out of
And
1,700.
Man.
And there's we have a large Hispanic population, and like there's migrant workers and stuff that come through. And so I don't, there's only like 460 registered voters. So overall, it's just low numbers across the board.
Whoa.
People aren't very politically involved, and I think that's what's allowed us to get here. We have an ordinance here for yard sales. It's a misdemeanor. I have to wake up 2 days before. I have to go down to City Hall. I have to give them $5 for a yard sale permit, and then come home and then wait my 2 days, put my sign up. I have to put the sign up in my front yard, and then I can have my yard sale. And I can only do that 3 times a year. And
what?
So, but
wait. So you have to have a permit. They only give you 3 permits a year, so you're up to 3 yard sales a year. You got to give them 2 days notice. You have to have a permit. You get to pay for the permit.
More than 3 items is considered a yard sale. 3 items.
What?
Whoa.
Wait, hold on though. We've got to fix it. Tyler, so what you need to do, and you make it last for 3 weeks, and you just put out 3 items a day. Or what you could do is put out whatever you want to put out, and then just mark it as free, OBO, see owner, and then you negotiate in the garage. Hey, I'm not selling these. They're free.
The thing is,
I'm taking donations.
It goes back to that full weight of the government. So it's a misdemeanor. So if you don't hit all of those requirements, it's a misdemeanor and up to, I think, $500 fine. And,
wow.
People have just allowed these things. It's the same thing as if people hadn't shown up against the discharge of a Nerf gun ordinance, they would have passed that. And it would have banned construction in this city because it didn't allow construction like the nail guns. It would have banned a pneumatic nail gun.
Well,
the way it was wrote.
I don't know if you've ever seen
the best way to build a vibrant community is to completely make it illegal to construct anything. Yes, excellent. Well done, everyone. And you know what we hate? Apparently, children. You know what we hate even more? Children having fun. No Nerf guns. Fuck you. And no new homes.
And so it just seems to be there's, and I think a lot of these councils operate that way, is they're just like rubber stamp factories.
Yep,
and no one gets involved in the local politics, and the people that are doing it are the people that really shouldn't be. But
that's the nature of it right there. I apologize for interrupting you, Tyler, but I want to throw it out there. That is the nature of the state, and that is why I'm an anarchist. You've hit it on the head. It's because the people who get involved initially anyways, and who are the meddlers and who take the levers of power, they are the ones who absolutely should be nowhere fucking near it. Everybody else, we're busy living our lives, right? Providing for our families, doing our things, leaving people alone like you're supposed to do. So every town, every county, every state, they're like this. The most people just want to live their lives. They don't care. And then until something makes them care, like in your guys' case, the gun ordinance finally touches enough of a nerve where just enough people are like, oh, okay, I am upset about this. But, for 20 years, we didn't care. And the same people got to make all these laws. And now it's too late because it's really hard to repeal laws.
That's the thing. I mean, all these laws just stack, right? So we end up going, every time we do a law, there's just another law behind it, and we just stack and stack and stack and stack and stack.
And people will also come at you with like, well, it doesn't matter. They don't enforce most of them anyways. Well, until they do. And the moment they want to, they can. And then we go back to the full force and weight of the government.
I was just reflecting on the irony of collecting coins for the 3 items that you sell at that yard sale, and those coins having the word liberty printed on them. It was somehow this is a question we ask on this program a lot. Like, is liberty of value for all of the reasons that one somebody who is for this type of thing might give you for why there was implemented. We'll see, there was this one yard sale where they were selling, COVID-ridden, blah, 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 and then all these people get like, whatever reason they would give you for why these regulations, we need to manage the dissemination of these types of yard sales. Is liberty a value?
Well, yes, that's just a value that almost no one possesses, truly. And even the people who think they do and espouse it, most of them don't possess it. That's why I argue with conservatives as much as I do neoliberals. Conservatives have their own bugaboos. Yeah, like I hate the government, but don't you take away my Medicare, my Social Security, and I super duper back the blue. Also, pot should be illegal. In fact, every drug I don't like should be illegal, but alcohol and Oxycontin are okay. My flavor of boot leather is the best.
Here is, this has of course become a big national thing. Motorola, not so much. Flock, definitely. Here is CBS, the national network, doing an interview with Flock's founder. This is very truncated, and I didn't do this editing. This is how they edited it.
Turning now to the latest twist in the controversy over the surveillance company Flock. Nationwide, it has more than 120,000 cameras used by more than 6,000 law enforcement agencies. But there have been claims that these license plate readers may have been misused by some officers, including for stalking.
There have been claims.
Claims.
Yeah, just claims.
Including for stalking. Flock CEO Garrett Langley just announced new safety measures. He sat down with CBS's Anna Schechter for his very first network TV interview about the changes.
Your license plate is registered as stolen license plates in our system.
Are you serious? Dozens of drivers nationwide say they're being unfairly pulled over, some even at gunpoint.
Keep your hands above your head.
Due to alleged misuse of Flock Safety's license plate readers. And it's not just mistakes causing concern. This week, 3 Georgia police officers were added to a growing list of cops accused of misusing the camera technology to allegedly stalk citizens, including ex-wives and girlfriends.
I don't think that Flock created police abuse.
I mean, can you put yourself in those women's shoes?
No, it's horrible, and I apologize.
Did you take enough responsibility?
I got something for this.
Enough?
Hold on. Yeah. I got something for this. Where are you? There you are. Hey, so women are being stalked, and dudes are getting held at gunpoint. And the system is making mistakes, but also it allows people with an authority complex to have even more authority. What do you have to say about that?
And to all those affected, I want to say, we are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry.
No, it's horrible, and I apologize.
Okay, that's definitely your soundboard material.
I heard a thing where the someone had told me once, they were saying that, why are we giving this stalking tool to the group of people that has the highest rate of domestic violence?
Yes, I was gonna bring it up. I'm so glad you did, Tyler. Thank you. Laughs in 42%.
No, it's horrible.
And that's just the cases we know.
Well, when questioned, Officer fill in the blank said the following.
No, it's horrible, and I apologize.
Did you take enough responsibility?
I would never, ever beat my wife, but I also won't stop all of my buddies from beating theirs. And I would never tattle on them because we're a brotherhood.
Enough responsibility soon enough?
I think hindsight is a brutal tool. Of course, we could have done more earlier. And we listen, and we learn, and we'll continue to move forward.
In response, CEO Garrett Langley says he is rolling out new safety measures, including cutting data storage time from 30 days to 7.
I thought he was going to say including cutting down Flock cameras.
No, that would, those are Motorola employees running an op on behalf of their business model.
Including cutting data storage time from 30 days to 7. And in January, Flock will require all of its roughly 6,000 law enforcement agency clients to opt in to what's called audit assistance, which flags any potential police misuse. Why didn't you make a requirement as soon as you created?
They're going to investigate themselves, and what do you think they're going to find?
Themselves.
Why didn't you make
But don't worry, only 7 days instead of 31 now to misuse your data. We only have a week, so we got to be a little more motivated and a little less lazy to misuse your data. Don't worry,
Why
though.
didn't you make
You're in good hands.
a requirement as soon as you created the technology?
We've evolved there. We've always said we want local control. I think it's up to our elected officials to decide how long is this data retained.
No, it isn't.
Do you see what he just did? He just did two things. He didn't answer the question, and he deflected.
Well, they edited it so heavily.
While deflecting,
we really don't know how he answered
said, "Well, what we really want is for the locals to have control." So
The
not
local
only was it a
officials,
deflection,
the
it was a
local
brilliant deflection.
Yeah, well, but we don't.
The local reptiles.
And they don't. You can tell it's so heavily edited. We don't actually have any sense of how he actually answered the question. But the notion of like the local officials.
I think it's up to our elected officials to decide.
The thing that they're doing right now, and Flock is pushing for legislation, but when they're pushing for legislation, and it's exactly what's happened here in Idaho, they're pushing for legislation because by legislating it, it allows it. So with Idaho Code 491432 is the law that we have right now, but it expressly allows ALPR, and it puts just terrible, it doesn't even really do anything as far as restricting it, or it has absolutely no real enforceable punishment for misuse, but by legislating, it allows it. And so what we've seen since, because that came in effect in June of or July of 26 or 25, and so since 25, these have exploded across the state because there's a law saying you can do this.
Yep.
And so
it does two things. It makes it almost impossible to challenge legally, and this might be more important, especially for the long run. It gives perceived legitimacy. So now if you are like us and you, as usual, notice things, question things, especially question authority, well, now we are the pariahs. We're the outsiders because most of the NPCs who live on this planet Earth and who use legality as the bar or the litmus test for morality, well, now it's okay. It's legitimate. Hey, it's legal. So what are you guys belly aching about? It's legal. The Idaho State Supreme, I'm sure somebody will take a case to the Idaho Supreme Court at some point. It might even go all the way national, but it'll get to the Idaho Supreme Court and they'll be like, well, hey, it's been legislated. It's written in here. It's legal. And so from then on, you alienate those of us left over who still will fight the fight, but you make it legitimate in everybody else's minds. And then it becomes impossible to challenge.
I heard a quote the other day, and it hasn't been released yet, but it's you can't legislate morality.
Correct.
Like you literally can't. And I think, flock cameras, it's 100% an immoral thing to do, to just spy on everyone and track everyone as they go about their travels. And that's where, like, the same thing where we were saying before, where tyranny is just a software patch away. There's really no way to just safely do this. They just need to go.
We'll go this way because we knew it was going to happen. I'm going to bring it up first. I win the race. Imagine what would have happened just 6 years ago. Just 6 years ago, during the 2020 bullshit, where the state showed us, they tipped their hand and showed us what they were willing to do at all levels, federal, state, county, city on down, what they were willing to do to us. Imagine what they could have done with this network that now exists and is growing.
Yeah, there was a huge fight in Kentucky where there was like a church that had services during 2020 during COVID, and the pastors like, we're going to have these even with a lockdown, and the governor sent the state police to go write down license plate numbers. And so it's this funny equivalency where it's like, okay, we're saying we're just reading license plates, but license plates contain identifiable information, not to you and me. We're not allowed to search, what a license plate is tied to, but they have the system right there in front of them. They're the watchers. They're the ones that have access to, who's it registered to, who's it whatever. And so they wrote down all these license plates, and then they sent them quarantine notices. They gave all that information to the health departments and gave the people that were attending these church services, the quarantine notices. And so we've already
There's
seen
a reason
happen.
why they force us to register our vehicles. It's another two-pronged attack. It's a revenue scheme. It's rent seeking, which is illegal, except for when the government does it. No, it's a revenue scheme, and it's so they can track us. And because, like you said, everything they want to know about us, all they got to do is run our plates, see our driver's license, see our carry permits, see it where we live, all kinds of stuff. But I'll do you one better. It wasn't even in just Kentucky. Obviously, we know it was a lot of places this happened, but it was right in our own backyard. I mean, Moscow, Idaho was ground zero for the fight of church versus city. That was ground zero in Idaho. Remember, that was a big kerfuffle. One of the main, more conservative churches in Moscow made a lot of noise because they met in the parking lot and sang hymns. And the mayor and the city council and the cops all basically, well, the mayor didn't show up because he won't do his own dirty work. But, out came the cops citing people and attempting to cite people. Well, that was right here in supposed blood red Idaho.
They think they own us. That's the truth. They think they own us. They think we're a flock, and
we are chattel.
They're the leaders, and they're the officials make the decisions. They didn't send any of their phony baloney health apparatus to the parking lot of Home Depot. Why is that? That place never stopped operating. The whole notion of a lockdown is bullcrap to begin with. There was never any lockdown. There was just targeted assaults by the leaders against a citizenry that is supposed to be free. It says liberty on our coins, but in point of fact, we are not.
Yeah, but you know what? And we had this conversation before. This is a little bit of the historical fact. The first coinage that we ever minted as a country, so when I say we, I mean America, we should have stuck to that because that was the best. It literally said, mind your business. That was what was on the first coinage.
I know. We looked
mind
this
your
up on
business.
the show. It was awesome. If you've never seen that, Tyler, that's the...
you looked it up on the show. I already knew
coin?
it.
You already knew. The what coin? I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Fugio cent. Google image the Fugio cent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Fugio cent.
Yeah,
that's right.
There it is, stamped right on it.
Mind your business. Just
there is
the fact that we got rid of that, man.
Well, it says a lot. There is of course, the difference between you heard earlier in the clip with Sir Lucifer and Adam Curry that were like, oh well, people go and they post about it on Instagram. There's the true information, or people put up voluntarily the Amazon the Ring cameras all over their houses. Like, yeah, well, but there is a distinction because we, as usual, with all of the quote services that we are being told to hold still while they are thrust upon us. We can't opt out of the ALPRs. There's no opt out. Well, everybody opts in, man. Everyone has a phone. I know, but there's still a distinction. You can't opt out.
I can leave my phone at home.
I can smash my phone if I want to smash. If I decide I'm out, and Tyler, same thing with Tyler. You can leave your phone at home. You can turn it off. You can change plans. You can change carriers. You can change the hardware. You also can jailbreak your phone if you know who to do. There's lots of different ways you can mitigate the risk, eliminate the risk, or fully embrace the risk. But you have choices. You can damage your phone, whether accidentally or otherwise. You can buy it and then break it in half. That's not a felony. So my phone's watching me
now. There's a whole company.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's going to become a bigger and bigger thing.
Now, new from Motorola, a privacy phone.
So, because we sort of didn't let him finish, I want to finish hearing how Tyler is fighting his township here, where they first try to outlaw Nerf guns, then they kind of
no, the discharging of Nerf guns.
Oh, excuse me, you're right. My bad. Yeah, no, it's important. It's a good distinction. It's a good distinction.
You can possess as many Nerf guns as you want.
You have one of those like secret compartments that like comes up from behind your headboard. There's a bunch of Nerf guns. It's like lit up by the LED lighting.
Well, the question is, what happens if they catch you with intent to distribute said Nerf guns? Like, if you hand them out to your kids for a birthday party, then what happens?
I don't know. So they did that firearms ordinance. We got that stopped, and then so I noticed the cameras in Caldwell. I'd read that story. I was driving through town one day. I saw a flock camera, so I immediately go down to the police. Our city's so small, the city hall and the police station's one building. And I go in there and I go up to the police chief and I said, hey, who put these in? Because I didn't even know who put them in, And he's like, oh, me and the mayor. And I'm like, where was the council meeting? And he's like, there wasn't one. And so that same thing we're talking about. Yeah, there was no, there was no meeting. So they hit into the budget. They put, and they still did it wrong, but they put a $10,000 line item for equipment capital outlay. That's all they put for. And capital outlay means like you're purchasing something. So if you like bought a camera and then you kept it on like your property books, like that would be an acceptable use. But with Flock, you don't even own the equipment. You don't own the hardware, the software. You don't even really own the data. You just own the ability to access said data. So he's like, "Oh, me and the mayor approved this," and I'm like, "What the heck?" And so that's when I got a ton. Well, and here's what happened. Actually, from there, I went on the community page and I got a bunch of people riled up going to come to the council meeting, and it was packed, like standing room only. I mean, it's not a huge room, but there was probably 30 people there, maybe 40.
So like half of the registered voters showed up.
Half of the people that voted. Yeah, at least half
Barack
of
Obama, eat your heart out. Here's a community organizer for you.
Yeah, you think you could fill a stadium.
Yeah, so I had the Twin Falls meeting. I got that one packed too. But anyway,
sorry, we're not making fun of you, by the way. That probably felt like we were making fun of you.
No.
Like, good job, dude.
No, so and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. So you're like, oh, a community organizer. Like, I've never been involved in anything like this before.
We would never use that term for someone we like, Tyler.
I just started. I just started.
No, that's a pejorative, sir.
So anyways, so I get the council room packed, and they removed public comment. And
so
did
they know what was coming.
Yes, because it's posted on Facebook. I was using the like our community page. And that was the moment that radicalized me. I think if that had never happened, I think I would have just got up there, said my point about, hey, I don't like Flock cameras, and probably left it alone. But
dude,
but they radicalized me. They literally forced my hand and radicalized me by removing public comment. And they did it. It's funny. I started recording every interaction with them. And so like they're at the council meeting. They're saying, well, the mayor's not here. And so he's the one that said not to have public comment because he's not here to listen. And then, but I had a video of the mayor saying, well, it's up to Devenberg, who's was the chair of the council.
Wait, so they're all
it's up to him. So they're all pointing fingers. Yeah, you corner one, and
to the next guy. You corner him, and they're like, "Well, actually, it's our secretary. She's the one who's supposed to set the agenda last Wednesday, and she was so busy processing yard sale permits, she forgot."
Oh yeah. Oh, the city attorney said we can do this. It's all a bunch of bull crap. Just because you can, doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, and they all back each other, and they're all in the same. I mean, it's a cabal. It is a cabal. They behave that way. It's a complete
joke. And so, they all high five and have beers. I honestly really think that, it's probably pretty boring typically to be on the council, and people don't show up, and you guys are everyone's just sitting there saying yes or no on a bunch of pretty much unimportant things.
Yeah, well, it's usually like, should we spend this money? Yes. Should we not spend this money? No. We should still spend it. So no to the not spending.
I think once drama happens, I think they just want it. I think they're like, yes, I feel important, because people are showing up and they're mad at me yelling. And I think it's this like ego stroke for them.
That's a toddler thing, actually, which makes a lot of sense. Ego, toddlers, you've got big emotions, you have no impulse control, you think the whole world revolves around you, you're a low-level narcissist or sometimes a high-level narcissist. A lot of it's just attention seeking. Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad. They just want attention. So there you are. Now you've got little small tyrants in their small world who are now getting the attention they crave. And even if it's negative, they're happy.
Like you're saying, Tyler, it's the reaction to the engage to what they do, where like either the taxing or the surveillance or all of the myriad ways that we are tyrannized upon, then when there's a reaction from the citizenry as it gets ever more ratcheted up, that, you know, to the point where, like, especially in 2020, where it's just full blown totalitarianism, where it's like, we own every part of you, no, cover your face or else. It's like, and then the citizens go like, at least some of us are like, yeah, man, I guess I'm officially now radical, like, even though I haven't actually changed, but you've just kept ratcheting it up. And then they get their panties in a wad, like, whoa, where's this reaction coming from, man? We're just trying to look out for your safety. And they act like there's no reason in the world that there should be, that anybody should be questioning their motives or anything. Like, what's wrong with you, citizen? We're just trying to provide you services. God.
Yeah. Just your friendly neighborhood city council member trying to do what we've always done. What are you so upset about?
If there was ever an acknowledgement of like, well, we understand, like, you know, of course there was some, we made some mistakes in 2020. So we understand why now you would be skeptical of our motives and our methods and stuff. But there's never any preface along those lines. They're just fed up with us. They've had it up to here with our radical right-wing skepticism.
It's kind of a tactic that I'm going to pick on them again, I guess. The boomers have perfected really well. And any of us who have parents who are involved in our lives, and we love them. But getting boomered by our parents, we all know this. We all know this scheme, right? Where like your parents give you something as a quote unquote gift, and it's not necessarily wrapped as a gift or anything like that. But, you know, you go visit and they got this stuff set aside for you. And they're like, oh, hey, by the way, here's this stuff I've got for you. I've been saving it for you. And, you know, go ahead and take that. And it's, you know, like an old wicker basket and a couple of like blood pressure squeezy balls that have, you know, your dad's insurance company printed on them, and you're like, what? You just gave me your garbage. You just gave me the stuff you didn't want to throw out. And if you push back on it, then they're like, what? Well, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't want our gift? Like, oh, we're just giving you some stuff. We're just being nice. You know, it's just a gesture. Why do you have to make such a thing out of it? What's the pushback for? What,
there's a they're always,
it's this again, right?
They're always exasperated.
Ungrateful kids.
Always exasperated with us.
Deeply personal. Seemed deeply
like,
personal.
You know, who broke you, kid? Like, well, yeah, really. You kind of did, Dad, a little bit. Or in Tyler's case, when the city council's like, who radicalized you, man? And Tyler's like,
right.
You did.
Me?
You.
Yeah, so that turned into you know, I noticed this across the state where, you know, it was happening in a similar way. And so a few of us got together and we started DeFlock Idaho, the page, you know, from there. And for a while, for a couple months, it only had a couple hundred followers, a few hundred followers. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I've never ran a Facebook page. I've never made social media content. I've had to learn literally all of this. I've never ran a grassroots movement. I've never gotten people politically engaged. I've literally never done any of this. I'd never been to a city council meeting until, you know, that firearms ordinance I talked about. And so all of this is, you know, rapidly just kind of happened, and I've had to figure out, you know, how to do records requests, how to do other stuff. But essentially, that's what radicalized me, was just them saying you're not allowed to speak. And so it's like, we're going to put in cameras and execute, you know, mass surveillance, and then we're not going to allow you to speak about it. And so we need changes. The cameras need to go. But honestly, even there's been like the last 2 years, it hasn't gone out of committee, and that's something I'm scared of too with the ALPR bans is that it might not even leave committee. And so, but there's been the last 2 years, there's been stuff going into committee to require public comment at public meetings, because we have the public meetings laws, but we don't require comment. And so,
now, Tyler, when you say we, are you still referring to your township, Wilder, or are you referring to a bigger
state? I get the state overall. So the state has open meetings laws.
Gotcha.
That require, you know, that's why we have, you know, city council meetings and you know, at the county or, you know, whatever level.
So are those let's see, procedures primarily dictated by state law?
Yeah, and but it essentially just requires like you guys have to have a open public meeting. Like people have to be able to attend and see what you're doing. You can't just have meetings behind closed doors.
Okay.
But
Does that include public comment?
No, but that's what it doesn't require. It doesn't require public comment, and so that's where there's been two bills that to go forth in the last two sessions to require public comment, but they never even left committee. But it's simple. Like we should be allowing people to have a say in what's going on in the government. You know, obviously you can require only, you know, say, oh, okay, you only have 2 minutes to speak, or you only have 3 minutes to speak, or you know, I just watched. It was last night was the Twin Falls City Council budget meeting, and someone went up there to speak, and they wrote John Hancock for their name, and they didn't allow him to. They didn't allow him to speak.
Of course.
Because they had a fictitious name or whatever.
Of course. Yeah.
And they're like,
well, hey, nobody does lawfare like the government does, even at the most lowest and petty levels. It's fantastic, but in the worst of ways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who cares? Like, what does it matter that someone says their name or not? Like, we're here talking about surveillance. You know what I mean?
It of course doesn't. It's just a reason.
Which is ironic. Talking about surveillance, I don't want to use my real name. Well, then, sir, you don't get to speak because we don't know who you are. Now, hold still while we put you on camera.
There was just a lady that was arrested for that. I can't remember where. I'd have to look it up. But she was drug out of a council meeting of her full name. And they knew who she was. It's like, you know who I am, you know. But they want to play, they want to play
again,
their little ego stroke.
And again, I got to say it goes back, it's bigger than that. It is the nature of the state. And I'm going to hammer that every single time because I want people, anybody who will listen or hear it, fully understand. That is the nature of the state. This is not one-off stuff. This is not like, oh, we just didn't quote unquote use it properly, or it's not because we don't have the right people in positions of power. No, this shit is every day, no matter who's in charge. This is the nature of the state.
It's inherent.
I was watching that video of the lady getting drug out of the council meeting, but it really made me mad. And the reason it made me so mad was because there's so many people against these systems of mass surveillance, and people across the country are going in front of councils that don't even listen, that don't even care. And it's the same story over and over again. It's like pedantic. And so how does it make sense? And how is it that we got to the point to where, like, it's not a problem with the Wilder City Council. It's not a problem with the Caldwell City Council. It's not a problem with the Twin Falls City Council. It's a systemic issue across the whole country. And the state. And I don't understand how are these the people that are there that are elected allegedly to they're supposed to be elected to represent the people, and they seem to just represent the state's interest.
That's right. Yeah. The people who live their lives and mind their own live their lives and mind their own. The people who are natural bent towards meddling gravitate immediately towards meddling. The saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely. No, it's bullshit. It's not true. And it's not how it works. It's that the corrupt absolutely seek power. So again, from my perspective as a libertarian, and more specifically as an anarchist, you have to take that away. Don't allow for those things to even exist, because somebody will always wield them. And even in the private sector, of course, that happens also as well. You got gangs, cartels, blah, 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 blah. But at least they have the decency to turn a profit. I can negotiate with them. I can legitimately, legally fight them off physically and violently if I need to or want to. Nobody calls me a criminal. Meanwhile, if the road pirates stop me for whatever arbitrary reason and I shoot one, I am the worst person on planet Earth and get the death penalty. But if the mafia pulls me over and does the exact same thing, extracts money from me over the barrel of a gun, and I shoot one of them, I'm a local hero. The only difference is the costume and the paperwork. And so there you have it, the state versus everybody else. And you ask a good question, Tyler. I hate to sound like the arrogant ass that I am, but the answer is pretty simple. It's the nature of the state, and it's the nature of humans, those who leave those be, those who don't leave others be. And if it's there, if the position of power is there, the corrupt will seek it out and they will fill it. And most of us are too busy living our lives to either stop it or to block it. And by block it, that usually would mean us being the ones sitting there. I was president of my HOA for my first 2 homes I lived in. Now where I live, there is no HOA, thank God, where I'm way up in the north outside of Clark Fork, and there's many reasons why I'm up here. But for the first 2 neighborhoods, there was an HOA. And in both occasions, I actually made a point to become the president of the HOA. And I did it successfully and then held on to those positions for years. And I got like a classic libertarian, I took control and I left everybody the fuck alone. And I took the minimum amount from everybody that was required by the HOA bylaws, and we just maintained the neighborhood. And I actually tried to abolish both of them, but I couldn't, because you have to actually have, if everybody has mortgages, then the only way you can abolish an HOA is if the mortgagors sign off. So homeowners have to sign off on it, but then the interested parties, which also happen to be the mortgagors, the banks, also have to sign off. So I could never get it done. But I did try to abolish both of them. But at that point, my idea was, well, it's either me taking this flack for everybody else, and a lot of them hate me for it, and a lot of them don't hate me for it, or it's little Nazis in their little neighborhoods doing Nazi stuff to me. So we had to, sit in the seat. And that's how this stuff happens. HOAs, city councils, county commissioners, state legislators, all the way up and down.
Well, and there's the entire apparatus of the, public education, quote unquote, and this program, which we highlighted, the mainstream media. They constantly refer to the city councils and this and that as leaders. The county leaders. Elected leaders, the city leaders. They say it constantly, and they are, even though that's the opposite of what they are, you said it, Tyler, they're elected representatives, which is the opposite of a leader. The people are the leaders, and thank you. And the people up on the dais are supposed to be representing
our glorious
the
leaders.
But no, they're the leaders, and that gets hammered home across the board because, I think the people on the dais believe themselves to be that, and then it's just... It's a population that loves to be ruled, I guess. People just want to be ruled. A slave mentality. It's like the story of Exodus. They're like, hey, man, there was sirloin in Egypt. Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. The slavery was preferable. But there's a lot of language, subtle and not so subtle.
Manna and quail is home. Okay, but you know what? I think we should probably go back into slavery.
Leaders. Yeah. Okay, we got to do mid-show. Yep. We have more flock stuff, and we got to do mid-show, and I think Tyler just dropped off of Clean Feed, so I'm not sure if he's got to go or if his thing just crapped out on him. But it is time to do... He's back. Okay. Tyler, we got to do mid-show, and then I have I have more clips. Are you game to hang out with us and do some other stuff for the second half of the show?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, awesome.
Sure.
Right on. So I'm not sure if you made it this far in the of No ID that you've heard this far. But this program is a value for value program. That's the model we run on No ID. And now we're on episode 43. Yeah, I've been going for a while. We're almost about to cross the 1 year mark coming up in October.
You know what we forgot to do for last episode, Scott?
What's that?
We had episode 42 and we absolutely missed an entire opportunity to call it the meaning of life. I'm just realizing it now. So I think for episode 43, we have to call it the meaning of life, just for the fuckery of it.
Really? What? Not tyranny is a software patch away?
Oh, well, if you're going to go, I don't mind the long-windedness. You know me. I'm a big fan of long-windedness. Brevity is not my strong suit. So yeah, we'll go with that if you're cool, if you're keen on it.
Value for value is a advertiser-free, outside influence-free, no sponsor meetings, no nothing model. It's really a straightforward model. And this program brought to you by the fine folks at Motorola. Yes, Motorola.
Yes, Motorola.
We don't do any of that. There's no live reads. There's no promotion of anything. And the reason is because we value liberty on this program. And that is the only way to stay truly free is to just have nobody, you're not having your paycheck depend on what you do or don't say on somebody else's or some other entity's behalf. We just ask for direct value contributions from you, the producers. There are no listeners of this program. There are only producers. You help us produce the show. And you do so by... If you find our program to be valuable, we try to make it valuable. If you find it to be valuable, kick value back to us with your time, your talent, or your treasure. That's the whole model. We put this show out every Thursday. It's free. There's no subscriber tiers. There's nothing like that. It's just the show, and it's as good as we can make it every week. If you find it valuable, throw value back to us, and that means many different things to many different people. Only you can determine what value means to you. Time, talent, treasure. Time value adds look like sending in articles, sending in audio, sending in show art, sending in boots on the ground reports. All of this is at noidshow.com. You can there's email address, there's contact form, there's all sorts of ways to get in touch with us and send us stuff. We love feedback, and I got audio this week. I got articles, lots and lots of stuff, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to send all that stuff in, keeping us front of mind. It's huge. Leaving ratings and reviews on whatever platform you're consuming.
What we need is to hire Tyler to figure out how to get our Facebook page up to 26,000 followers.
I know. Yeah, he's like, I've never done any of this.
He's been doing this since April.
Yeah, really. Never done anything in my life.
I've been doing this for 5 months, and I'm already eclipsing everything you guys have done in a year.
I grabbed a torch and just started walking toward the city council chambers, and next thing you know, I turned around and all 200 people in the town were behind me.
It turns out.
Yeah. 15-second, do a 15-second short, reel. That's all you got to do. It's that simple.
I know. Yeah, which is the exact opposite of this program. I have, but they don't. This is, it's an audio show. You're right. I mean, I know I keep being told that it's the short form. But what are you
going to do? Brevity's not our strong suit. In a soundbite world, we're singing the opera over here.
That's pretty much it. This is the long form is really the only way to truly dissect these things. Like to get all the clicks and the sort of critical mass of followers and stuff. Yes, and for your purposes, for the political purposes, makes complete sense. For the purposes of audio, just like dissemination and whatever commentary and media deconstruction in this format, it doesn't work in short form. So I just need to. I need to get someone on board with this, some Gen Zer that's better at that stuff than.
Though, how I asked Tyler, how do you do it? He gives us the answer, and we're like, nah, that doesn't.
I don't even know. I don't even. I just posted. I started posting people speaking, myself and other people speaking at council meetings, and then it just kind of blew up. And I would just cut those up in different ways, and then
there it is, Scott. Video.
The big thing. I've learned to use CapCut. I had no clue how to do that, but I've had help from some other people that make content, have kind of shown me how or they'd made content for the page, and then I'm just like, okay, well, let me figure out how to do the same thing, and so I mean, I just kind of shit post and it works.
Well, okay, I can do that. Shit posting? Yeah, now you're speaking my language. Like,
we had
memes.
Well, we had MAGA Mom. She's on the city council of Nampa, and I went and spoke at their council meeting, and it was pointless. I'd actually met with their mayor, and and then when I'm leaving, the police officer that what's his name, Schmidt or someone with an S, some bull crap. Anyways, he forced me out the door. Like we were done talking, and because they showed me their real-time crime center. I don't even know why the mayor took me there.
Real-time crime.
I wanted to sit there and talk to the mayor, and then he takes me to the real-time crime center, and the officers are, we're arguing over, it's like 4 of them versus me, and they're arguing, how great their system is, and I'm like, you're sharing with these people, and this is how it works. But at the end, when one interesting point is that officer's like, well, at one point he's like, my mom doesn't even like these cameras. It's like my mom doesn't support my job.
Sir, you should listen to your mother.
And we've had hard conversations because of my mom. Yeah, Lieutenant Chad Shepard with the Nampa Police Department.
Dude, that guy sounds like a guy who will beat you up for being black. Chad Shepard.
He took so I have a conversation.
Used to play high school football till he injured. He was gonna go pro till he injured his knee. Now he's just an ISP trooper with a hard on for catching criminals on the road going 6 miles over the speed limit.
What his ex-wife said on that court proceeding. That's all. It's allegations. They have not been proven.
Allegedly raised my voice and wagged my finger at her, sir. That I don't know where that black guy came from. I only told her once.
So he so yeah, I'm like leaving, right? We're like done talking, and I stopped in the doorway, and I'm looking at the screen, and because they have this huge screen, and it's just like plastered with people driving around town, and I can't remember what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask something, but he doesn't push me, but he, like when someone like firmly like touches you to like move you, and so he like firmly like moves me through the door. And then I'm like in the hallway, and I stopped, and I'm like waiting for the mayor to come out, and he's like, you need to leave, and he tries like pushing me again and like to the elevator, and I'm like, I'm waiting on the mayor, dude. It's so anyways.
Did he tell you to stop resisting? Sir, stop resisting.
I seem to be getting close to that, and
God.
So anyways, I go to the council meeting, and I spoke, and I brought up points of how Motorola shares their data with the Thomson Reuters Clear system, and other valid concerns with their system. And he goes up there and just starts naming me by name. He's like, I don't know what Mr. Cain thinks he knows, and blah 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 blah, running this like very like emotional. Like one of his points was, if these were illegal, the attorney general would have done something about it.
There it is. There it is.
Yep. That's the tactic.
They only. Guys, it's okay. It's legal. Right. What else do you need to know?
And underlying
it's
all this
perfectly
is
legal. It's okay.
Mr. Cain just doesn't get it. He's just another citizen who doesn't get it. He's operating on misinformation. I don't know what he thinks he knows, but if he just knew the right things, he wouldn't think the way he does.
That's the exact argument. I mean, that's exactly what he went up there and said. And so he kept my name in his mouth, running it. And then MAGA Mom, who is like this Facebook influencer who's also just happens to sit on the city council, she starts going around saying, we don't have Flock, which they don't, but she's like, we don't operate mass surveillance, and we don't do this, and NAMPA's blah, 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 just spouting all this stuff about how great NAMPA's mass surveillance program is. And so I start going at her, and I took her like Facebook thing, and I made it like, what was it? It was surveillance mom. And,
yay.
And then I was like, I changed the thing. It says communist voice cutting through privacy, defending mass surveillance, comrades, and control in a free world, unapologetically stalking.
I do it even. I'll do you one better. You make a poster of surveillance mom and be like, are you kids behaving in here?
It's so, dude. So what's so funny is so she's this MAGA mom. She's on the council. She's using her MAGA mom platform to relay information that's going on in the city. She blocks DeFlock Idaho, just flat out blocks us. And but it's like you don't even have enough skin, thick skin to deal with, a couple memes. When you're
usually
so
how you've won the argument. Just when they just boop block, you're like, oh, I guess I won. Did I win? It doesn't feel like winning, but I'm pretty sure I won.
But she wasn't even, she didn't want to have it educated, to understand how these work or anything. And what's so
Tyler,
funny
you
is,
mean to say that somebody who goes by the handle MAGA didn't want to listen?
Well, and so what they do, and I saw this a lot with Nampa, and when the mayor took me to the crime center, they're like, these are the experts, and these are the people, and so it's always this trust.
Scott loves those people. Scott is a super duper fan of the experts.
Yes,
tell us more about the experts.
Could continue, and then I have a little vignette on that.
Yeah, so
Scott, don't even worry about it. Tyler said the experts are on it, man. Flock's okay now. It's cool. The experts.
So these people think they're like
closed.
Trust the experts, and it's the same thing that happened like during COVID. Was this trust the experts, and but really like these people, this person that's when you're talking about a police officer or there's a difference between a sheriff and a police department. So the Nampa Police Department is bureaucrats. The police chief is a bureaucrat.
Yes,
they're not an elected official, and Lieutenant Chad Shepard is a bureaucrat who's defending his salary. And that doesn't make someone an expert. That makes them a person trying to collect a paycheck. And,
I'm so sorry to do this to you again, Tyler, but you basically, once again, just described the state in a nutshell. bureaucrats who would otherwise not have as good of a job or any job in the free market or in the private sector. But they have it here because the state, and they are defending their existence. That's why it's so hard to dismantle any of it, because they have a vested interest in it existing. Everything they do is a defense against the likes of us.
Here's Lori Wolf, Tyler. This is Lori Wolf. She works hand in hand with Governor Tiny doing the budget.
I'm happy to be a bureaucrat.
She loves it.
I like your taxes.
She doesn't want to pay taxes, but you know what?
I like your taxes.
She likes ours.
There you go. Oh, geez.
I guarantee you she pays a CPA $10,000 a year to pay a lot less taxes.
Okay. No, it is a scary laugh. Listen again.
There you go.
I'm happy to
It's
be
like
a
the Kamala
bureaucrat.
Harris laugh.
Totally. It's a Kamala cackle. Yeah. And here, you know what? Here's some, we're still technically in the value for value segment. Here's a little bonus.
Yeah, we are.
This is
we have
donor notes to read.
We have
yes.
Oh, sweet. Let's do it.
Well,
Sorry, Tyler. We'll pick it back. Hold that thought.
We're going to I have to play this, though. Here's some bonus content in the value for value segment. This is from KTVB.
Idaho kindergartners are heading back to class with vaccination exemption rates well above the national average. New CDC data shows 17.5% of Idaho kindergartners had an exemption for at least one required vaccine last school year. That compares with 4.2% nationwide. National MMR vaccination rates have also fallen to 92.4%, below the 95% level considered necessary to prevent measles outbreaks. The Idaho Immunization Coalition is urging parents to check their children's records and talk with their healthcare providers about any overdue vaccines.
No, they didn't actually say it in this
Idaho
one.
Immunization Coalition. How much public money do you think they get?
Well, I have some answers for you on that. I dug into them a little bit. And now they didn't actually, Tyler, in this clip use the word experts, but they almost always do. There was one from NPR on this same topic, and they did say, according to experts, you need the 95% threshold of vaccination so that your kid who's protected needs to be protected from the unprotected by forcing the unprotected to get the protection that didn't protect the protected kid, but you
don't know about being protected could kill you.
But they will always do, it's like they'll quote, the CDC says this and experts say that, as if there's just all the credibility in the world for the CDC and experts, like the last 6 years never happened. If you have any questions about the legitimacy of that sort of verbiage or whoever it is they're quoting, or how do you know not to listen to, how do you know which experts to listen to? What about this expert who says the opposite? They just trot it out there. Goes back to what I was talking about earlier. They're like exasperated with us for questioning the credibility of all this stuff, even though all they've ever done is dash their credibility against the rocks.
Hello, peasants. Are the experts in the room with us?
Yeah, are they watching us right now? That what was that organization?
To prevent measles outbreaks.
Well, it depends on whether you guys would call our assigned Fed boys experts. Because if so, then yes.
The Idaho Immunization Coalition is
the Idaho Immunization Coalition. Okay, so I looked now. Who's that? They just blow so right past it, doesn't it? Now they're a private organization. They're not governmental. But let me give you a couple of quick stats.
No. But I bet they operate on grants. And you come on, man. You know the game here.
So
I win.
So not only do they operate heavily on grants, not only does the over $100,000 in annual compensation for the executive director of this organization. They have received about $80,000 from Pfizer directly, documented payments from Pfizer. And so I can't imagine what incentive Pfizer would have. This is what you were saying a second ago, Tyler, about like the expert is just on the stand defending his job and his salary. Well, what incentive might exist for Pfizer to use Idaho NPR to describe how important your kid getting vaccinated against measles is on account of the kid next to him is vaccinated but needs to be protected?
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, and there's a lot more to it too, and there's also been a massive funding increase for this particular group. In 2019, its annual revenue was $145K. In 2024, it was $1.52 million. What happened between 2020 and 2025?
I don't know what can possibly have happened. I'll bet you too that Tyler's probably seen very similar stuff with the Flock and Motorola cameras and whatnot. You got to know pockets are being lined on that side of things as well. I have to be being lined.
I got Well, so there was this rash of police departments.
A rash? Get a vaccine.
Media posts.
Duh.
But they were doing like just constant social media, and it was like nationwide. And so there was from other people, and then from us, but there was a ton of records requests done. They found, Flock has like worksheets to give to, this is how you talk to the public at a council meeting, like telling police departments how to do that.
A style guide.
And then even where we got emails from Twin Falls, where before we went to there, we had like I don't even know a count. I mean, it had to be like 250 people. Their whole room was packed. There's a watch room that was packed. The hallway was packed. Like there was just that many people there at the first council meeting we went to speak about Flock. And but we got emails from them leading up to that meeting where they were asking Flock for help. They're like, we need help before our meeting because it's going to be, and they were referring to Caldwell. They're like, it's going to be an event like Caldwell. Cause we did one in Caldwell where it was a standing room only, as well. But they're like scared. They're like scared of the taxpayers. They're
scared of accountability.
They're scared of the people, and they need Flock to hold their hand and tell them how they should address the public about the mass surveillance system they implemented.
Well,
it's absolutely insane.
They're used to doing this shit in the dark.
Yes, right? And they should be scared.
Accountability
they should be.
The
thing is they're scared, but they're not actually going to change course. See, that's really the issue. It's that they're not actually going to change course.
Well, because there's no real consequences.
Right.
There's no real consequences.
They're
it's
scared
like
of how to deal with the interim.
Trotted out Fauci. It's like when they trotted out Fauci last week or 2 weeks ago, and a bunch of people on the MAGA right were like, "Yeah, get some Fauci. We're gonna get." And you and I sat there and went, "We know nothing's gonna happen." I mean, the guy who's sitting president right now gave Fauci a fucking medal. You think anything's actually going to happen to the guy? No, he went up there. He sat there for a whole day, pleaded the fifth, took his lumps like a man, still got his platinum parachute. Who cares? He wins. He wins.
And if all else fails, he can always move back to
that's at the federal level, but the city.
Fine.
Oh, I knew you were going to bust that out. I gave it to you. Handed it to you on a
the motherland of Israel, and he'll be fine.
I thought he was Jewish.
You apparently weren't alone. I got a couple different notes this week from people that were like, "So did I."
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
See, it's actually this is why it's noteworthy. It's because it's one of the few like actual swings and a miss I've had in 12 months of podcasting, and I just missed that one. Oh well, what you gonna do? Hey, speaking of rashes, funding, and missing people and stuff, let's
finish
go
this
over
value for value. Yes,
contributors.
Yes, so
and then have a pee break.
Value for value means, like I was saying, contributing back time, talent, or treasure. We went through some of the time and talent ways to contribute back value, all at noidshow.com. Telling people about the show is a huge value add. Probably one of the most valuable things you can do right now that's non-treasure oriented is let people know about the show. Word of mouth is how things like this grow. So that's a huge value add.
I disagree with Scott. Referrals are the real treasure because, as we all know, the real treasure is the friends we make along the way.
Anyway, moving along. I'm so glad Tyler didn't speak either. I was like, give it 6 Mississippi of silence. The true treasure portion of Time, Talent, Treasure makes you an executive producer of that week's episode. And episode 43, there are a couple different executive producers to thank with treasure donations. Let's start off with repeated executive producer. And at this point, we'll probably have to come up with a different and better title for him. Kevin Killian is back with
hey Kevin
with $49.99. He said, "Figure your sounds out, Paul Michael Banducci. I better hear me a 999."
Hey, why? Damn. Is that a real-time flack throwing right now? Was he just listening in and did this just now or something?
No, that came in last week. So I think it was all about your Outlook alerts that kept going off.
Oh, that. Okay, I thought you meant me not having the sound drop for the 999 part. I was like, he was on that today.
No.
I'll have you know, I turned my email off today, but I keep it up sometimes because that's where some of my articles are that I want to discuss for this podcast. And if I don't keep them up, I'll forget.
Okay, well, there's your...
I think we should call Kevin the Glorious Supreme Chalupa Leader. That will be his new executive producer title.
Next, sorry, I lost my tab here. This is from... Oh, they want to keep it anonymous. Okay, and it is $111.11, 111.11. And that is a row of schmeckles from Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous. Appreciate it. Any notes?
Yes. No. It says he actually...
No note? This
person says no note. So I guess that technically is a note. So, but we'll
the files are in the computer.
It's so simple. We greatly appreciate the row of schmeckles and Kevin Killian with his $49.99, and thus concluded.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Anonymous.
I'll take you down there for 25 schmeckles.
25 schmeckles? I don't know what that is. Is that a lot? Is it a little?
Thank you guys very much. NoIDShow.com. Please contribute back value if you find our program valuable. Value for value model. Oh, and as the mothership, by the way, that pioneered the value for value model, John and Adam on No Agenda. Here we have a new addition to the soundboard from Adam Curry, the Podfather.
I guess that North Idaho show is doing okay.
What? Did he talk about us?
Yeah, because Sir Ducifer, who co-hosted the last show, was like, I've gone up to North Idaho, I've hung out with those guys, and Sir Scott the Jew, and Adam's heard our show before, but I just love his because people have written him and be like, hey, you got to have Scott on the show, and this, when Ducifer brought us up, Adam said,
I guess that North Idaho show is doing okay.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Times.
All right.
So the second half of the show, we got some more Flock stuff while Tyler Cain is hanging out with us. Community organizer Tyler Cain. Do you want to do a song and a quick pee break?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
As long as, it's only like 3.5 minutes more, so I don't think it's going to make or break Tyler as long as he's willing to stick with us. And if not, that's cool.
Are you good on time, Tyler?
Yeah, I have plenty of time.
Awesome.
This will definitely be a longer episode, but what are you going to do?
There's a story that I'd like to get added in maybe while we're on break. That might be a good one.
What, you want to email me a link and I'll take a look at it?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right, right on. All right. DJ Paul's got a song and we'll be back in a few.
All right. This is about the relationship between the state and us. Enjoy.
Give me what I need, pull me in so deep, take me as I please. I want you to want me, sweep me off my feet, bring me to my knees. See you in your dreams. I want you to want me. I would fall from the sky, cross my heart and hope to die. Turn my back from heaven's eyes, just to be with you. Look at what you made me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. Look at what you made me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. Look at what you made me. I've got looks to kill. Come and get your fill. Take the little pill. The devil made me do it. Evil in the eyes, caught you by surprise. Pretty little lies. The devil made me do it. I would fall from the sky, cross my heart and hope to die. Turn my back from heaven's eyes, just to be with you. Look at what you made me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me. Look at what you
You made me do it.
You did this to us, citizens.
COVID forced the racketeer to close while allowing Home Depot to continue operating. And 9/11 caused the Patriot Act. And the AI caused the employees to be fired. And crime is causing the installation of ALPRs.
And inflation is why we're going to tax you 12% this year as a city.
Yes. Inflation is why we need to up the city's budget and raise your taxes. Inflation is why.
Give us your money.
Violent video games cause Columbine.
No, that was The Matrix.
Yeah, you're right. By the Wachowski sisters.
You can't blame video games. You blame Hollywood.
Oh, and Marilyn Manson.
Definitely Marilyn Manson.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay. Second half of show. And we have lots more Flock stuff. Tyler, you just sent me this clip, which I did not. I'm just pulling it up straight on YouTube. We're doing it live. We have other stuff to get to besides Flock, but of course.
Flock cameras, bro. I hate those things.
While we have Tyler here, we're just going to keep going.
Dude, today's Flock Day.
Flock Day.
So we're in downtown Minneapolis, where hundreds of people have come out to protest against Flock. They're protesting what they say is surveillance that they didn't sign up for.
Hey, why didn't they care about that 6 years ago?
This is what I do have to wonder. Where was everybody? Where were
Minneapolis.
you?
It's like one of the bluest of the blue spots in the entire country. Where was this 6 years ago?
Well, and that makes me wonder, to channel Sir Ducifer for a second, they are being spun up. The mainstream is spinning people up. Flock bad. They're spinning people up. So what op actually is this?
Of this protest calls himself No Mark. He says he's a masked vigilante who's saving the country from Flock.
Flock cameras use AI to capture the identifying characteristics of vehicles that pass by. Law enforcement uses its national database to solve crimes like stolen cars or missing people. But recently, dozens of stories have come out about police officers who are accused of abusing the data. Like officers...
See, just to quickly let you know the context here of what Tyler sent me. This is from CNN. This is from C-freaking-NN. And it's titled, "Are Vandals Winning the War on Flock Cameras?" So this is the mainstream media kind of sending you the Flock bad messaging.
Charged with stalking, who allegedly used the system.
Well, they're throwing us a bone.
I've had a lot.
The argument that it's an op. That kind of makes me believe it, man. When CNN throws us a bone,
I'm starting to wonder. What were you saying, Tyler? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Tyler.
I have, I'm in this, and I've seen some weird things where there's like people are like, oh, it's a conspiracy. People are just trying to, like, why are we so focused on Flock when there's other companies? But within like this movement as a whole, the Flock is just people only have the capacity to understand so much, and so Flock becomes synonymous, right? If you're just trying to live your job, live your day, live your life, and not have to be involved in government or involved in whatever. You're not going to know Motorola or all of the in-depth details of how all of the surveillance state works. But I don't know that there's an op. I've worked with a lot of, media, and it seems like they're just genuine people who are also concerned about mass surveillance. And so, and also it gets some clicks, right? It gets some, it's a hot topic. So
yeah, well, it's the topic du jour right now.
Yeah, it's like the top. Yeah, I mean that's really the only reason. There's been people that have been against these for a long time. I think I just started my page at the right time where there was a vacuum for the type of content that I've been creating. There's something to say where there was times where I was going up by 1,000 followers a day. And so it's absolutely insane growth of a page. Even now I go up by, hundreds. At least depending on what I post, at least 1,000 followers a week, it would be normal for that page. And so
count me in those ranks. I actually followed you like 2 months ago before I knew anything else.
I listened to early DeFlock. I don't know their stuff where they want to play the stuff from the current album, but early DeFlock,
I knew Tyler before he was big, back when he was indie, all right, and his stuff was out of the garage. Yeah.
So I don't think there's like an op. I think it's just this is the hot topic. I mean, you had the civil rights movement. There's a lot of movements that have happened in history, and I think this is just the one the one of the hour.
So you're thinking maybe, at least in regards to, say, the mainstream media, less of an op, at least from them or on their behalf, and more of a target, just like other things, a target of opportunity. Hey, this is the topic du jour. We know it gets clicks and gets views, and some of us maybe kind of sympathize or even maybe agree, and are not quite so pro surveillance. Maybe that's kind of what you're thinking. It's more
I mean, some
more
of the
target of opportunity.
Some of the reporters I've talked to are like fervently against these, right? A lot of times they
my question would be,
have to present the media in a certain way.
Sure.
Some I've met have been neutral on the topic, but generally, I mean, if you're against something, like, you're going to want to use your platform to
so that ties in with the question I've got perfectly, Tyler. Have you ever pushed back on them regarding the COVID stuff then? Because if they're, that is my question again and again and again. The people who are against Flock, but were totally okay with all of the bullshit they pulled on us on COVID, then I just go, okay, are you a changed person, or is this just because it's cool to be anti-Flock right now, but it was definitely not cool?
Let me see if I can put it in
non-compliant in 2020. Like, where the fuck were these people 6 years ago?
Let me put it in slightly different words.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous.
Have you seen, Tyler, the super cuts of all of the network affiliates from coast to coast, all of the KTVBs,
et cetera? Yeah.
And they're all saying the same thing about disinformation, and there's been a rash of, there is a top-down sort of script that will be disseminated. Not necessarily every single story, and not every single reporter, quote unquote, to a person. I'm sure that when you meet Haley from KTVB at the Twin Falls City Council meeting, she's just like she's a person, and maybe she has her own opinion on a flock camera. Those two things exist independently of each other. Any given reporter might be fine and normal and a human, but the apparatus is reptilian. So if they are from the top down, and when CNN deciding what they curate, how they present it, and just what they present in the first place, it is top down.
Yeah, I don't know, because this is just from my experience, right? I mean, I've had times where I've been like, man, I really sucked at this interview, but they end up making decent content, or they use it in a way that still presents, it might be not necessarily like we're against Flock, cut them down, or go yell at your local council member. But they still seem to present everything in a way that's like favorable, and putting information out in front of people, to see what's happening. And so I don't know, I have a hard time, because I've received really good, I feel like I've received really good media coverage, and they've been very willing to work with us, and I've been more than willing to work with them, and it doesn't really matter this is such a nonpartisan issue, that it really doesn't matter, which media outlet it is. I think they all just want their clicks, right? But they're there to present the news. But to say that we get fair news coverage, I think is a statement that could be made.
I mean, I guess we'll take any help we can get, and you just have to forgive guys like Scott and I for being so jaded about it.
No, and like obviously, they can have their own agenda, and then maybe they just haven't caught up yet. I don't know. So
typically, anytime the mainstream news apparatus embraces something or endorses something, or even takes a even mildly favorable position on something, almost immediately, again, for guys like Scott and I, we'd look at that and we go,
yeah, why? Why? They're making it the topic du jour. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, and we're not trying to put you on the defensive, but
Not
I
at
guess
all.
we just naturally are going to push back a little bit on that particular point, where it's like, nah, we don't. You cannot hate the mainstream media enough. And
let's finish
can't.
the CNN
You
clip.
cannot. So we just immediately go, yeah,
hundreds of times.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Someone got this one.
Someone beat me to it.
It's duct taped.
Like week, I would see a new article about how these cameras are being misused, how they're being used to stalk people. It's way too powerful.
People are now fighting back against flock cameras. We found that people have damaged, destroyed, or stolen these cameras in at least 33 states. Earlier this month in Winona, Minnesota, police announced that every single camera in town had been stolen.
This is one of the 8 cameras that Winona police say were cut down by vandals.
The flock camera!
Did you get that?
Yep, that's the post. You betcha.
So somebody just cut this off?
Uh-huh. Just got up here and...
He's demonstrating what it's like to use a right angle grinder. That's good.
Damage. Winona police said the cameras would not be replaced. They're one of about 100 cities around the country who've said they're no longer using flock.
We're not going to...
dude, I cannot wait for Patriot, the second Patriot to come out.
The Act?
It'd be
Patriot
sweet.
Act?
Mel Gibson was in it again.
Oh, the
no,
movie.
the Patriot.
Movie. Yeah, okay.
Where, he's leaning up against one of these flock cameras but with a hacksaw, and he's like, Lord, make me fast and accurate.
Aim small, miss small.
Cameras, just let it settle down. It'll go away. As soon as the football season starts.
Oh, wait, here's, whoa. This is, I think, this is the key line right here.
Away.
We just got to hear what our glorious Supreme Chalupa leader thinks of us right there.
Here, listen.
Away. As soon as the football season starts, if the Vikings start winning, nobody is going to pay a whole hell of a lot of attention.
Who are they interviewing? Who is this? Is he the mayor or city councilman? Who is this guy?
I think he's a council member. I think he's just a council member.
Okay. Can you guys feel the contempt and the disdain dripping from that man's mouth?
Once the flock of stupid sheep have their beer and circuses to entertain them, they're not going to care about us leaders surveilling them, will they? Well, unless the Vikings have a losing record.
Yeah, if their sports team starts sportsing hard enough, this will all blow over.
Wow.
Like shortening the amount of time they store the data and adding flags so they can catch people who are searching it inappropriately.
I think it's
okay. I think that's the part you were keying in on, Tyler.
Yeah. So and then I think I can't remember if it's this video but it goes on and they end up there's like a part where they're in the council meeting, and this could have been somewhere else, but they're talking about the cameras and they're not putting them back up. And they're like, well, we don't want to reward the criminals who cut them down, but we're not going to put them back up. Obviously, because I think they didn't even stand for, they weren't even up very long. I think they were taken down like almost as soon as they were put up. and so it's just funny. So like, I'm not here trying to say we're going to cut them down by any means, but it's just,
we would never condone.
It's funny where obviously
anti-state behavior.
The cost of putting them up was them, someone taking them down, and then them realizing we can't control this maybe until football season.
Man,
we do have an idea for you, Tyler, that we wanted to run by you that we came up with a couple weeks ago. Especially since you have the reach that you have now on Facebook, is we were thinking that your next ad campaign, actually, instead of it being anti-flock, should be very, very pro-flock, but directed towards a particular population and demographic in the downtown Spokane area. And importantly, what it's more like a PSA for that group of people, and letting them know that each flock camera contains 3.5 pounds of copper and a couple of grams of gold. And then just let nature take its course. Just let nature take its course. Yeah. just going to throw that out there as your next, marketing campaign. So that one's for free. I won't even charge you for that one. The more you know.
Here's the clip from.
But I do like the fact that what you were saying, how the city council was like, well, we don't want to reward them by putting them back up. Basically, that was them saying, well, you guys didn't win. We're just retreating.
For the moment.
Right. Well, and it's funny. I mean, if they put them back up, that same guy's probably just going to take them back down.
Doing the Lord's
There's
work,
been
man.
there was a city I saw in Texas, and they're like, okay, it cost us, basically by them removing flock because the cameras kept getting taken down so much, it was so costly for them to replace them that he's like, oh, I'm going to save the county $40,000 by canceling this contract because of all of the vandalism. And it's so and I just want to make this abundantly clear. It's so unfortunate that these council members and well, I'll call them the leaders. We were just talking about that, but they don't even listen. They don't even glorious leaders.
Burrito
right?
Supreme.
They don't even listen to the people, and so the fact that people are saying this is my only recourse is terrible, and it's a reflection of these council members that are not willing to serve the people. They're serving their own interests. They're serving the idea of give police everything they ask for in the name of public safety, and it's disgusting. At the end of the day, I don't know how to describe it other than it's disgusting that that people have to take it into their own hands.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
That's a Ben Franklin quote. And by the way, this guy is Jerome Christensen, the guy we were hearing. He's a Winona City Council member, Jerome Christensen.
Rush out and buy new cameras, just let it settle down. It'll go away. As soon as the football season starts.
Yeah.
If the Vikings start
The sad thing is that he's not entirely wrong. People have
pay a whole hell of a lot of attention.
Yeah, people have short attention spans and they have a small bandwidth, and that goes back to what Tyler was saying earlier when he says Flock is sort of there's multiple different brands, multiple different companies, multiple different issues going on here, but Flock's kind of the rallying cry because it's sort of a catch-all because people don't have the bandwidth for anything else, which then kind of segues us perfectly back into where we started this conversation, which was like with Mayor Westlund in Post Falls, where he issues a statement. And it's cool. It sounds good. And I think I know Randy Westlund. In fact, when I ran the Racketeer Cigar Lounge, we backed his campaign for city council actively. And we actually thought we were going to get crushed. I did. Anyways, apparently they knew something I didn't, and he won. And so that was really cool. We were a part of that. So I actually backed his campaign for that and backed his campaign for mayor, financially for the city council member, not so much for mayor because I was in a different position at the time. But I know the guy personally. I know the community he's a part of, and decent dude, very bright, and about as close to a stalwart, more conventional conservative as you're ever going to get as a mayor. But even this guy can't get rid of the surveillance in Post Falls. This guy, and a fairly conservative city council, I might add, with Joe Malloy on there, who I also know and who is a good friend and a cigar smoker. Like, you're talking about a city council and a mayor who are close to as conservative as you will ever get in a town that size. Maybe the most. They will never get rid of the surveillance because they can't for one reason or another. There's always going to be an excuse or a contract they can't break or whatever, or the police got to have whatever the police got to have. And that's the problem with conservatives is if the police say jump, the conservatives go, yes, sir. And then when you jump, please land on my neck when you come back down. And then this same conservative city council and mayor are saying, now we also have to tax everybody to the tune of 9% to, make up for all this other stuff that's not our faults. I don't care how conservative you say you are. If you're in the apparatus, there's only so much you can do to
that's it.
Slow
That's
down
really
or stop the apparatus.
So
they're not. It's a losing thing, which then takes me to the next segue, and where I think we ought to end this podcast on this is and this is for you, Tyler, in particular. That's why we got you here. What do we do from here? Like, where do we go? What do we do? What have what do you find that is working maybe versus what's not working? What tactics work? What don't, what do we do? And then is there hope?
Yeah, so the thing is, a lot of people are against these, and we have, I think, an overwhelming community support. I initially was very, faithful, like had this thought that, okay, maybe some councils will take some pressure and do things correctly. And we haven't seen that, right? I have not seen one council other than, Jerome canceled theirs. They had the police were asking for money for Flock and they didn't do it. Salmon put in a resolution to not to stop him, but basically to require council approval to do it. Essentially blocking the backdoor ways these have been going in, whether it be with grants or just coming below procurement requirements. And then Clearwater County did cancel theirs when the new sheriff took over. So we have seen these small wins in, smaller areas, but we haven't seen any big striking wins with I was hopeful that maybe Twin Falls. But I think keeping pressure on the city councils has been good. If it's creating a conversation. The next big thing, and I've talked with Idaho Freedom Foundation. There's a lot of pressure within the legislature to do something this session.
That was going to be my next question. Is there any hope of or momentum behind a statewide effort?
My really big worry with them is that they aren't going to do a complete ban. My worry is we already have garbage for what our law is, that 49-1432. What they're going to do, I don't know. But like I've said, there's really no safe way to regulate this. And so what I'm hopeful for is that maybe we could push, obviously I can't push, but, we can be very vocal about trying to push a complete ban. I want to, when the legislation session opens, I'm going to try to get thousands of people on the steps to, go and protest this, to really show that we don't want this. And I've never even gone and protested something, but this is something that we need to be protesting. I mean, there's absolutely no reason that the government should be tracking everywhere we go, and creating searchable databases, and not even just searchable databases, but databases that predict where you're going to be at certain times of the day, or where you went based off, creating heat maps of where you might be based off of where you've been and where you're going.
Do you think this could be a bipartisan effort in the state legislature? And then I guess
it is. I mean,
I've
talked to Democrats. I've talked to Republicans, independents. It seems like a lot of people are against it. The problem is there's so many moderates, and those are the people that I fear is this moderate. These people that are very soft on every issue. Like for example, with Twin Falls, they wouldn't pass a total ban, but they were willing to amend it to where if the state does, if the state bans it, they'll be in compliance within 7 days.
Here, I have a clip. I have a Twin Falls clip. Let me play it.
Twin Falls signed off on a spending plan worth more than $96.5 million. City Council approved the budget for the next fiscal year in a unanimous 7-0 vote. Council members also moved ahead with the city's Flock license plate reader contract. That contract was approved in a 6-1 vote, but with some restrictions. First, the AI and machine learning piece of the equipment will be turned off. Second, the national search feature will also stay on.
Flip the switch.
The national search feature will also stay off unless Twin Falls police say they need it for a local crime investigation.
Did you listen? Unless they need it.
Wait, so we'll turn it off until we need it, then we'll turn it on. But you won't know whether or not we turned it back off. That's a boop.
While a requirement for quarterly reporting was not formally included in the motion, city staff told council it'll provide periodic reports on how the cameras are being used during open council meetings. The council also clarified the contract can still be amended in the future. This comes after the DeFlock Idaho chair filed a tort claim alleging Twin Falls is allowing Flock to use pictures of license plates to improve its own software, violating Idaho law. And as we've been reporting extensively, these cameras have faced growing criticism over privacy and data sharing concerns.
Don't worry, we're going to use it properly.
Flip the
Have no fear,
switch.
citizen. Now go watch your sports ball team.
Yeah. We'll flip the switch back if the Vikings post up, a record above 500.
So as we walk around Idaho, if we start seeing flock cameras hacked down everywhere, we're going to know that the Seahawks are having a losing season.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Tyler.
So, but Twin Falls, I mean, they had hundreds of thousands of searches because they were sharing federally, and it took us doing a records request. We did a records request, said, hey, who are you sharing with, and what are give me 3 months of searches from external searches, and just an absolute garbage mess of searches were being done. Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission was searching on behalf of ICE for immigration. Why is the Fish and Game Commission in Florida searching Twin Falls data for non-criminal ICE complaints? I don't know. It's beyond me.
Is it like an epidemic of illegal immigrants fishing without a license up here or something?
Slow the spread.
So, I mean, the stuff we found in there, and then they go into these concessions, right? And so, there was tons of hundreds of thousands of searches for traffic infractions, which isn't even allowed to happen. Like, you can't even search flock data in Idaho or ALPR data in Idaho for traffic incidences. It has to be a misdemeanor or felony. And so, but they give these things as a concession. It's like they're like trying to throw us peasants bread or something. They're like, oh, our concession is to remove the national share. Well, you were doing it illegally to start with.
Well, and how do you know they've actually done it? That's the other thing. There's no accountability. There's no audit.
We had to do a record.
They just tell you they shut it off, and you have to go, okay, I believe you.
Right. And the proof that we have, because there's a box that they check on Flock, and Flock purposely opts in. So when a city gets Flock, that box is pre-checked. So unless they know and uncheck it, anyone can access their data. And especially where we do, I mean, it's a weak law, but we do have a law, in other states. Man, if you look at some of the searches that happen in other states, it's like expired registration. And it's like, so you're using this system because someone has expired tags on their vehicle, and you're searching for them. Their driver's license is expired. We're going to see if they drove. And these are the searches that are happening, and it's the real reality of what's happening across the state. Scott Herndon did a post where he was saying, essentially Idaho already banned red light cameras, stoplight cameras. Yep. So why are we participating in this ALPR system? It's the same thing, just under a different,
And for anybody who might not know, Scott Herndon he will represent if he's voted in November. Right now he's running as a conservative Republican candidate out of District 1. That's my district here, Legislative District 1 up in Idaho for Senate, Idaho State Senate. He's been in that seat before, and him and Jim Woodward have sort of like alternated in that seat a couple of times. Oil and water between the two. They both call themselves conservative. Jim Woodward's no conservative. Scott Herndon tends to be on the ball when it comes to things like this flock camera stuff and property taxes and things of that nature. Of course, he gets a lot of flack for it because the establishment does not like that fellow, which is why I like him.
Well,
but that's who Scott Herndon is.
The reason for all of it is the same reason that when you meet an individual KTVB talking head at a city council meeting, she might be perfectly pleasant or maybe even in line with you philosophically, but the apparatus is reptilian and relentless. The exact same thing applies with individual city council members or Mayor Randy Westlund or Scott Herndon. The apparatus itself is reptilian and relentless.
It's hard. I think the saying literally is, you can't fight City Hall, or it's really hard to fight City Hall. Right? And poor Tyler is learning it the hard way. But that doesn't mean that we stop fighting.
Not at all. Right? And as a matter of fact, maybe this would be a good time to play from your hometown, from Wilder, This is, again, KTVB.
As we wait for President Donald Trump to release his stance on automated license plate reader cameras, one Idaho man hopes his petition will lead to the technology being banned in his community. Welcome to the News at 10. I'm Morgan Romero. Aspen Shumpert joining us now in studio. Aspen, it sounds like Wilder could become the first Idaho city to ban these cameras.
Yeah, that's right. This man says no amount of safeguards will solve what he sees as the real problem, calling it mass surveillance that needs to be stopped.
Wait, all right, right there. We're going to break this down for a sec. Did you see how they prefaced it? What he sees as problems.
In his opinion.
Quote, mass surveillance, end quote. But let's see what this crazy has to say.
Which, of course, it's not an opinion. You can say it's good, but what it's described as, it is surveillance.
Well, I just love that that's the preference, is what he sees as mass surveillance. No, motherfucker, it's objectively mass surveillance. It is literally objectively, factually
that needs
mass surveillance.
That's what he calls it.
You're just driving to the store. You're just driving.
So this is pretty meta. We're going to hear Tyler on top of Tyler as
on the corner
Tyler.
is tinfoil hat wearer Tyler Cain talking about what he sees as mass surveillance. More at 11.
It's Inception. You're just driving to the store. You're just driving to church. They track anyone that drives past them indiscriminately.
Did you hear that? Now, you know what they call that, Tyler, when they do, like they're emphasizing?
Driving to church.
So you're driving to church and then they turn way up the sound of a car going by. That's called a nat pop.
They track anyone that drives past them indiscriminately.
Automated license plate readers have become common in police departments across the country. The cameras photograph every vehicle that passes, logging the location, time, and plate number into searchable databases. Law enforcement agencies tell us it's a tool that helps them solve felony or misdemeanor crimes, traffic incidents, or find missing people. But the technology has drawn fierce opposition from some community members, including Wilder resident Tyler Cain.
To say that now we can track everyone just because the technology exists doesn't mean we should. The Fourth Amendment, it protects from unreasonable searches and seizures.
Over the last 3 years, 16 Idaho agencies that we've been able to confirm.
I'm sure you had a good follow up to that.
Yeah. That's what like a 60-second, 80-second answer, and they include how heavily edited.
I've had hour-long interviews, and I'm like, man, that went really well. And then they use 5 seconds. And I'm
Perfect.
like, why did I waste my time?
And we're over here going, mainstream media, dude.
Yeah, the mainstream media.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Over the last 3 years, 16 Idaho agencies that we've been able to confirm have started using the technology.
I think flock cameras are stalking. I think it's a Fourth Amendment violation, and I think it's destroying people's privacy and even further destroying people's trust with the police departments.
As we've previously reported, Cain, the co-founder of DeFlock Idaho, first started voicing his concerns earlier this year after discovering the city of Wilder bought and installed flock safety cameras without council's approval or a public hearing, a move Idaho's Attorney General Raul Labrador's office says didn't require approval or public comment.
And that's what led me down this road. I think there needs to be public comment when we're putting these in.
He's filed a petition and gathered enough signatures that now
I'm thinking more like public hangings.
Tarring and feathering.
Our city council must vote to adopt language banning the technology or let voters decide.
What?
The petition
No.
What?
The city leaders decide.
No, first off, I don't want the voters to decide that shit either. Just because 9 out of 10 people decide they want to be surveilled doesn't mean I want to be surveilled. Fuck them. No.
King Paul, the glorious burrito supreme leader, Paul Michael Banducci says, no, thank you.
King Paul, who wants to just be left alone. Super king-like of me, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Or let voters decide. The petition doesn't stop at just banning ALPRs, but it bans facial recognition and predictive policing systems, too. It would allow security cameras for city property, but requires city council approval for any new surveillance technology and mandates data be stored locally with access logs, not on a third-party cloud. This comes just a week after Flock Safety, the company behind Wilder's cameras, announced it's creating new safeguards aimed at addressing privacy concerns. Starting January 1st, data will only be held for a week instead of a month, unless it's tied to an open investigation and kept longer. There will also be a new system that...
So all you have to do is deem anything and everything an open investigation.
It's an open investigation.
And now you hold it for indefinite.
Well, they've always been able to just download. They can just download the data. So Flock like only retains the data for so long, but they can just click a button. I think mass like download everything. And it even says that like right. And so they only really own, like when we talk about them owning the data, is like really they only own the data and the fact that one, they can download it, and two, they can access it. But like if you read a Flock contract, it even goes like any work product made by their system is like expressly retained and owned by Flock. Like it's ridiculous. And then they even purposely frame everything as customer data.
Yeah, I love that.
The customer owns customer data.
We were talking about that just the other day, weren't we, Scott? About how I think it was just last podcast I told the story.
Your
about,
payment.
About how I got nicked for a late payment on Idaho income tax that I had
We're
paid
shutting
in
off
full,
your
but
water.
apparently a little too late. Oh, they didn't threaten to shut off my water. No. They threatened to seize my home, garnish my wages, and take my cars for $130 in late payments.
You would have had it easy, Tyler, with just no running water.
Seriously, yeah. Get bent, Tyler. You think you've got problems? Psh, I've got problems.
Yeah, but at the end, though, that was the best.
At the end of it, when I paid online, they sent the next page that popped up, was a "Tell us how we did" survey. I could rate them one. I could rate the Idaho State Tax
was your
Commission
customer
1 to 5
experience?
stars on their service. I think, it was how do you rate our services? I gave him a 3. Would not recommend, except for once a year.
It's really an ungrateful customer. Yet another one. Okay.
Felt like theft, but 3 stars.
This is the last of this KTVB clip on Wilder.
There will also be a new system that will lock out users whose searches display abnormal activity to cut back on abuse by law
Abnormal
enforcement.
activity.
Like searching for your ex-wife's
Who
SUV.
gets to decide what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who gets to decide.
I think there's no acceptable level of safeguard. It should require a warrant, and it should be an individualized warrant, not a mass surveillance system.
The city's police department says it has no further comment at this time. The city council has 30 days to vote on it by September 5th. Morgan, if council chooses to reject the petition and not adopt the language or not vote on it in time, then per Idaho code, the question will be placed on the November 2027 ballot, left up to voters to decide.
Yeah, but you better vote correctly, or otherwise we'll put it back on the next ballot until you do.
And this issue in Wilder has been going on for
vote
quite
harder.
a long time. Obviously, this is garnering a lot of national attention right now, but I know, Aspen, you've been covering the issue in Wilder for a while.
Yeah, those concerns in Wilder really started this year as residents were noticing these cameras going live.
All right, Aspen, thank you.
Yeah.
So So the last council meeting, there was a council member that brought forth an ordinance that would require any sort of surveillance technology, and it was even forward thinking, kind of like my ordinance is, to where it would ban sort of biometric tracking, stuff like that. It wouldn't ban them, but it would require that the council be the one to approve it. So where like we had the police chief and the mayor doing it. And one of the council members was saying, well, we shouldn't be putting up department heads in that we don't trust, and that essentially these should be department head decisions on mass surveillance. And yeah, it was crazy.
So unelected bureaucrats,
right,
city council
exactly.
members, they don't want to be the ones to have to make the decision because they mostly agree with these surveillance systems, but they don't want to lose their seats by being on the record as voting for it. That's why they do this. This is a delegation of responsibility.
Right. And so I don't know what the council's going to vote. I mean, I suspect there's at least one council member that might vote no or might vote for it. The rest, I have zero clue how they're going to vote. But I mean, hopefully, I mean, if they vote yes and these are gone, then great. I mean, if they vote no, it goes on the ballot, and hopefully the voters vote correctly. It'll be November of 27, and I mean, maybe there'll be a better voter turnout because there'll be a mayor race, and I think a couple council seats will be open, and so, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. This is one of we were talking about how to be involved. And I don't think we can just sit here and wait to hope that the legislature does something, to hope that the, city councils are going to do something. Thankfully, in Idaho, we do have the power to petition. This is going back. I've never done any of this stuff before. I've literally had to learn how to build an ordinance. I was watching, and it's so funny. I was watching one of the council members when that other ordinance was presented that would require at least them to vote on it in the future. She was looking that over with the city attorney before the meeting, and I don't know if you've ever seen an ordinance, and particularly in Idaho, you can use like whereas statements. So you'll be like, whereas I find mass surveillance disgusting, whereas I find this unconstitutional. You could write really whatever. But she was like, why does it have all these words? And I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, how do you not, like, how are you a council member and you don't understand like the basic like function of how an ordinance is built? But
why male models?
And so it's the people that we allow to be in these positions, just they're not educated on what they're doing. They like we're talking about, they think department heads should be making decisions for the community when we elected them to be the one to make decisions. We never elected the police chief. The police chief was put into that position by the mayor. So it'll be interesting. It's on the 1st, September 1st is when they'll vote. And it'll be really telling,
So that's just a week away or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly a week away. Hey, how fitting. So 1 week from now, we'll see how that goes, huh?
Yeah, it's exciting. It was a lot of work. I had to get, I mean, 60. So the initial signatures, you need 20 signatures. I had somewhere around 30 when I submitted my first set of signatures. And then it goes through the process. There's a bunch of things that have to go on. And then at the end, you need 20% of the registered voters, or not registered. It's 20% of who voted in the last city election.
So you need like 12?
I need 13 signatures.
That was almost right.
And so, and I've seen, because there's been interest in repeating this in other cities. So like CUNA might be doing one. Same with Twin Falls. So there's interest across the state to basically repeat that. I think Gooding County. So it's a good way to get involved, and it's a good time to do ones at municipal levels, just with the way the timing, because it has to go on that odd numbered year. After this election right now, this election cycle, it might be good to target a county, because then you would be targeting the 28 election. And so this is a good way that at least at the end of the day, the people are getting a say in what's going on, because the elected officials aren't giving us a say. And like I was saying, I don't know if I said it, but I was thinking about saying it, but at least in Idaho, we do have this power, because there's tons of other states and places that don't have the power to do this, to petition, to put something on the ballot. It's kind of a hard process. Like if you saw like that, there was that weed one that failed statewide, but they weren't doing, there's like, and it's how ridiculous bureaucracy is like you have to put in 20-point font, like certain words in a certain part on a page. And if you don't do that, it's invalid.
Well, or if you go up to the podium and don't tell them your full name, they drag you out of the meeting. Or if you put John Hancock as your name, they won't let you speak.
They'll get you on procedural grounds if they can. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so yeah, it's to protect themselves. But I spend a lot of time educating myself on how voters initiatives work to be able to execute it, seamlessly. And it was actually funny where I was having to like there was like a month long where I was fighting the city to get a proper, I had to make a qualified form to be able to submit to them to get it started. And then the city kept giving me forms that didn't even comply with Idaho law. And I kept having to tell, the city clerk, and it took like a month to get a proper approved form. And I'm like, dude, and at some point it got so ridiculous that I did it for them. I did it. I was like, I already have the formatting. When I get time, I'll do it. And I did it, and I sent it to them. And instead of sending me, all they had to do was take that same form and send it back. Instead, they changed it, and they changed it to where it still didn't meet the requirements of Idaho code. And so I had to go back.
Wow.
I had to go back and be like, fix this. And then and finally they did. But it was like a month and a half long process of going back and forth. Give me an approved form that meets the legal requirements of what you're supposed to give. I had to threaten to go to court. I'm
ironic because it's basically you've experienced what anybody who's run a business or had to do anything with the government of any sort of nature like this, we've all experienced a version of it. It's malicious compliance, but it's even more ironic coming from the state itself, maliciously complying and kind of in a very much non-compliant way with their own code and their own bullshit and laws that they force us to use. And then they wield it against us times two. And in two different ways.
And they do so in a sort of bumbling and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know whether to flip or fall in it. It takes 2.5 weeks or whatever. But meanwhile, when you owe them 15 cents for a parking ticket, they are Johnny on the spot, man. You better believe that that notice is going to show up in your mailbox right on time.
Oh, dude, we always used to say, the moment you think nobody cares about you, just miss a tax payment.
Anyone who's lonely out there, oh man, they do care. I think we're bumping up against it, and I have other stuff, but I think in the interest of time, I think we can call it and just make this a truly just a flock show. It was great. I wanted to play this quickly because I'm sure you've not heard anything along these lines, Tyler. I got a note from Debbie from Rathdrum this week who said, "Who is Governor Pervert that you keep referring to?" And so I wanted to address that because I think it actually kind of fits with the overall theme here, which is this. All of this is sort of a perversion of a representative republic, a land where liberty is supposedly a one of the highest, if not the highest value. Says it on our freaking coins, as referenced earlier. This is all a perversion. It's all an inversion of what should be in a free land. And that's Governor Brad Little. And the reason it's fine to go back and revisit it because it's from way back in episode 11, Cuts Before People. And that was from the State of the State that Governor Little gave when he was reelected in January there. And this is the sound drop that it comes from. To pervert. I pulled the full sentence, and so Tyler, you'll like this too. And this is one of those instances where the truth wants to come out. You'll hear it all the time from everybody, but politicians and bureaucrats. You'll hear it from mainstream media talking heads. The truth wants to come out. This is the actual sentence, unedited, as uttered by Governor Little into a microphone.
Idaho is evolving. However, through the change, we must commit ourselves to preserving our state as the place where opportunity thrives.
He was trying to say to preserve Idaho, but it came out as pervert.
To pervert.
That's the reference. And this is all this stuff. At some point, even the reptiles know that this stuff is wrong, that this is an inversion. And
Gotcha, bitch.
They head up a reptilian apparatus, even though to an individual like a Mayor Randy Westlund, they are varied in their demeanor.
Truly, to round back to where Tyler started today, I think he said the word pre-crime. Yeah.
Yes.
And immediately I thought of the story Minority Report. Immediately. And was just 1984 gets a lot of attention. And of course, nobody really listens. Fahrenheit 451 gets a lot of attention. A Brave New World gets a lot of attention. And those are all works that should get a lot of attention. but the one that tends to fly under the radar that actually might be the one we find ourselves in, Minority Report. Pre-crime.
Pre-crime.
24/7 mass surveillance, which real quick, I got to throw this in because I did do a little bit of the legwork. I was going to do a Scott Shots today if we could fit it in. I know we couldn't really, but I'm going to shoehorn it in anyways. It's a quick one.
Okay.
I looked up what percentage.
Wait a minute. I don't get my intro.
I asked the question.
Wait a minute. Wait. I don't get my intro. I got to stretch.
All right. No. All right, hold on. All right,
come on, dude. I can't. I'm gonna pull a hammy, man.
So you're right. No, you're right. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
I'm gonna bust my Achilles, dude. I gotta get up and get on my exercise
Hey,
ball.
ow, man.
Let's go. Do some jumping
Right in the
jacks.
feels.
I gotta stretch, pull my arm across my chest, pull my other arm across my chest. Woo! Let's go.
You Sandy Koufax?
Let's go. Oh yeah, I'm pitching out of the windup. Big leg kick.
Yeah.
All right.
We're dropping all the sports ball references now.
Send it.
Okay. It's not that impressive because I couldn't get all the answers I wanted, but it's fine enough and it fits right in with what we're talking about. I Googled about 18 different ways, like how much surveillance do we experience in America? What percentage of our day is surveilled in America? How many people, like what percentage of the population is under constant surveillance in America, and so on and so forth. You guys get the idea. I Googled about 8, 9, 10 different prompts, and the answer came back worded differently every time, but it was the same. And the answer was 24/7, always.
Hey.
Always. There is no time in our lives right now in which we are not surveilled. So then I was like, okay, what does that look like? Like he said, well, it's a combination of government surveillance in the form of warrantless searches via your phone, your computer, your iPad, your yada, yada, yada. Data brokers that are oftentimes government, but they're also private sector and third party, and they all work together and pass data back and forth and sell data back and forth. It's biometric and street tracking, which can be anything from what we're talking about, ALPRs, and facial recognition to everything in between. Our own cars now are starting to surveil us. That's been going on the last few years, and that is by law. Now cars are being manufactured with things that surveil where you go, when you were there, and soon, also now codified into law, thanks, big beautiful bill, they will have potentially facial recognition type devices that will not allow you to turn your car on if your car thinks you've been drinking, you're on drugs, or are too stressed out to drive.
Or you're on your way to you're organizing a rabble of rebels to head to a city council meeting where you're going to attempt to make public comment.
Yeah, well, you're pretty worked up when you go, so your car's thinking, well, hey, you're too worked up to drive. You might hurt somebody, so you got to stay home.
Don't forget, you left out a key one. Yeah, don't forget about state representatives observing us in public restrooms from behind two-way mirrors.
I've seen people in every way, shape, or form all over the world going to the bathroom.
If your name's John Hancock, they're not going to let you drive.
That was just
a fake name.
Behavior profiling, app and device tracking. Of course, we have our phones on us all the time. You've got the Ring stuff on your doors. You've got basically it is 24/7. It's private sector, it's public sector, and it's an unholy alliance between the two. So that was pretty wild. Then I was like, okay, well, what percentage? It said 100%. Digital tracking, public cameras, workplace monitoring, home smart devices. Anyways,
is there a question?
There you go. Yeah, no, I asked and I answered the question.
Okay,
that was it.
that's the answer. Paul got it right.
Yep.
We're surveilled around the clock. Yeah, good times.
Well, that's why I told you it was a crappy Scott Shots, and I was looking for a setup, but I couldn't get the setup because every prompt gave me the same answer, and it was the obvious, self-evident answer. It was like, "Hey, government, are you tracking us 100% of the time?"
No.
Yep.
Oh wait, yep.
Oh.
In this case, yep.
Okay. Anyways,
right,
Minority Report. We live in it already.
Yeah, we do.
Take that, Tom Cruise. Eat your heart out.
All right. Let's call it a show. This is episode number 43 of No ID in the Can. Okay, we'll do a little, us glorious leaders up here on the dais will make the call for what to call the title, the show title. I have transparency.
We should let Tyler pick.
I'm going, okay, good. Well, all right, fine. We'll let the citizen have a comment. Jeez. Transparency portal, tyranny is a software patch away, or real-time crime.
Ooh, I don't know. I use that tyranny saying a lot, so I like that one.
Okay.
It's long.
Yeah. It is. It's longer than normal, but
I second the motion.
You know what? This
but
show
not
is
because the citizen did it.
But that's one of my favorite. I love to say that saying. Like, it's one of my favorites because
It's so true.
Honestly, when I started this, I was like, man, ALPR cameras are terrible. And I was almost under the impression like maybe we could legislate this, but at some point I realized you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
then you learned about the legislative process and was like, oh, it's broken. It's all broken.
Yeah, there's no way we can't safely put guardrails on mass surveillance, and so ever since then I use that saying way too often. So
okay, so you know what? The show is longer than normal, so too will the title be. It makes sense to me. You know, we only have to have guardrails up until Viking season starts anyway, so don't even worry about it. Woo!
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Every city council member was like, "Oh my god, I hope our sports ball team wins this season."
I'll have to come back.
Yes, please. It was a pleasure.
Thanks,
having
Tyler,
you,
for coming on. Yes, we want that.
Yes, for sure. Where can people find DeFlock Idaho? It's just DeFlock Idaho across everything, right? All the platforms.
Yeah, we mostly use Instagram and Facebook. I have a YouTube channel that I don't really use and a TikTok, but yeah, DeFlock Idaho anywhere. Even the emails DeFlockIdaho@gmail if someone doesn't use social media or something. So if they want to send an email with follow-up questions or anything, they can email us there.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, yeah, we greatly appreciate you joining us, and I would imagine that,
and for doing the Lord's work.
Yes, and most people, I'm sure, within the sound of this show is probably either already following or they clicked the button while they were listening to this episode. So, please support Tyler and those who think like him and us. And stop perverting Idaho and start preserving it. Please, God. Remember us at noidshow.com. This is a value for value proposition. Please support us. It takes work to execute this program, and if you find it valuable, return value to our program. Time, talent, or treasure. Until episode 44, from heavily surveilled Post Falls where property taxes are going up, I'm Scott.
And from less surveilled Clark Fork, I'm Paul. Taxation is theft.
I guess that North Idaho show is doing okay.